The last place for true sports talk, and most notably, clearly in Philadelphia. The last place for true sports talk. Appreciate all of you coming aboard. We are 37 days away from the NFL draft. 37 days away from one of the most watched events, non-contact, the National Football League has. Dude, they do so many great things. Let's see. They have the Super Bowl, right? Then they get into free agency. Then what they do is they have the NFL draft. Then the releasing of the schedule. Then you have June 1. And before you know it, you're in training camp and you're teeing it up and kicking it off. And you got the Thursday night game that's going to be in Seattle. Hey, I got to tell you, is that Seattle game? Where's Seattle play the Eagles? I mean, where does Seattle play this year? Where's that Seattle and Eagle game? Is that thing in Philadelphia, or is that in Seattle? I think it's in Seattle, right? Is that game in Seattle? Seattle. Oh, hang on. So you're telling me that the opening game on Thursday night, that bad puppy could be in Seattle? And it could be the Seahawks and Eagles? Is that right? Somebody confirm that for me if that game is indeed in Seattle. Is that bad puppy up there? Hollywood Brown. We're going to get to that guy in a minute here. We haven't won. Seattle got worse, but not you, right, RC3? Not you. You got better. Yeah, I know. Yeah, right? Hey, Flex, how about the Eagles, the last two Super Bowl champions? Oh, my God. How about that? So, Boston, really? That thing's a home game for Seattle? I'm going to put the last two Super Bowl winners. And I'm going to put the last two Super Bowl winners in the opening Thursday night game. How you doing, baby? That's how you kick off the season. Have the Eagles go to Seattle. Yeah, we not playing the Seahawks opening night. Why not? Why not? It'd be a great opener. The last two Super Bowl champions playing on opening night, Thursday night. Why not? Oh, I know, Prince, because you have an inside scoop. Hey, Sills, at least they got a wide receiver who can go catch the overthrows. How you doing with Hollywood Brown? Okay? Sileo slow? Hey, Prince, if I'm slow, you're stupid. Eagles got better today. Another one-year Temu deal. Oh, my God. Hollywood RC3 says that they got better today with Hollywood Brown. What a shitty sign. Hollywood Brown, what did he have? 49 catches, 587. Well, wait a minute. He's the third guy in the wheel. So he's the third wide receiver. So whatever. He got better today. Hey, wait a minute. You know what? I'm going to concede. RC3, you are dead right. He's better. No, is he better than Jahan Dotson? Let me think. Is he? I don't know. Let me flip the shitty coin. What would be who's shittier? Hollywood Brown or Jahan Dotson? Let me think. I don't know. I have to get back to you on that. Oh my God. I think Dotson might be better than this guy. Only one Hollywood here. It's Hogan. How you doing, bro? 587 for a third wide receiver is a bad signing. Yeah, when he was their fucking number 2 guy in Kansas City, douchebag. Hey, you know what? That was so typical. Hold on here. So let me see where he was in the Kansas City Chiefs. And this guy's trying to make you feel that this was a great sign. Well, let's see what he was in Kansas City. Let's go here and see what Hollywood Brown was in Kansas City. And this guy probably was their one. And he was probably the one in Kansas City. So let's take a look at this. Hollywood Brown. So Hollywood Brown was the number 2 wide receiver. No, he was the number 1 wide receiver in Kansas City because Kelsey's the tight end. So the number 1 wide receiver in Kansas City had 49 catches and 587 yards. And he's like, well, hey, that's a great sign for us. Well, what do you think his numbers are going to be as the number 3 guy in Philadelphia? You think those numbers are going to be the same? Because your quarterback spreads the ball out? And Hollywood Brown is elite. Yeah. He had Patrick Mahomes. He had Patrick throwing in the ball. Patty threw to everyone. That's right. He spreads the ball around. Quarterback in Philly doesn't spread anything but jam on toast. You see what the Broncos gave up? We're going to get to all of this. I promise you. Here, let's see what Dumb Reyes says. Sills likes to pick because he likes Hollywood on the Oscars. Hey, not a bad take, Dumb. Hey, Dumb Reyes, not bad. Patrick Mahomes has been ass the last 3 years. Your quarterback has stunk the last 3 years. If Patrick Mahomes is ass, so wait a minute. Let's take a look at what this guy says. Patrick Mahomes has been ass the last 3 years. So I got to take a look at that. Let me show you what Eagle fan really is. He's been ass the last 3 years. So here's Patrick Mahomes the last 3 seasons in the NFL. In 2023, he threw for 4,183 and 27 touchdowns. In 24, he threw for 39, 28, and 26 touchdowns. And last year, he still outplayed your boy. He threw 3,500 yards and 14 touchdowns and 22 touchdowns at 35.87. And he's ass. And by the way, on success rate, on yards per game, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest in NFL history. And if that guy's ass, Hurts is awful. Sure, you think he was over Rice and Worthy now. So you really think he was over Rice and Worthy now? I don't think anything of Hollywood Brown. I don't think anything of him. I think he's a dude. So Hollywood A.J. Devontae will try to fight for receptions outside the numbers since they can't throw across the middle. That's a great take. Let me give you my take on this. I don't know, 1 year up to 6.5. I don't know what you want me to say. Jalen definitely went Hollywood. He's on a book tour instead of learning how to read a defense. Brand over everything. Hey, listen, like I said, everyone does this. Everyone does it. Don't have a problem really with it. I just want you to know what it is. They're polishing the brand. And what a better way to do it than, hey, by the way, I'd rather have them doing it with kids, making an impact in inner city kids, than doing it with something else that's dumber. That's not dumb. That's a good thing. But it's polishing the brand. Hey, and it's okay. This is what guys do. Actors and actresses do this. Remember something. You're a TV star when you play in the NFL. Hey, get this. Okay? Get this. So, if you don't have NFL football or college football on your network doesn't survive. What we do and talk about football and sports, 96 of the top 100 television shows were like football and NFL football. The rest was filled in by college football, baseball, college basketball, live programming and sports. Nobody watches those bullshit TV shows. ABC and CBS would not be around if it wasn't for the NFL. They wouldn't be around. Nobody watches those woke-ass shows. I mean, what we do every day here, and we talk football, and we talk sports outside of football a little bit, those other shows suck. I'm sure this will be an intellectual convo here. This is why you're retarded. The Seahawks have to play us at the link, so explain how we can play them opening. I asked the question. I thought they were on. I asked the question, Prince. I didn't know for sure. Did you not hear me? Jesus Christ, this is why you're fucking dumb. I asked, are we playing them at the link or in Seattle? I didn't know. Did you not hear that? Or did you hear only 5 seconds of what I said? Of course you didn't, because you like to think you're right on shit. Okay? You're an imbecile. You are just an imbecile. Another team was signing by Howie Roseman, the penny pincher in Philly. We go back here. Elite. I got it. Thank you very much. That's what makes Prince a dumbass. Did you not hear me ask you? Is that game at the link or in Seattle? Of course you didn't hear it, because you hear what you only want to hear. Holy shit, guy. Yeah, right. Whatever, guy. Your day's done too. Sills, hurting feelings here. What? Yeah. Let's see. Hurts was an okay dual threat. No, he wasn't as okay as a dual threat. I thought he was really good. Let's see here. Jalen is about to learn what it's like to be McNabb, a bad wide receiving core with expectations to be a Super Bowl team. Dude, Sales Mad Brown trade talks were Hollywood Brown and not AJ. He got finessed. Toof, man. Wow. This dude took a swing and fell down. Lamar was trash last year, but what bothers me about Lamar is that losing doesn't seem to bother him. It looks like he could care less. Yeah, I don't go there with that. I like Lamar. I do. You maximize what a player does well and you minimize what they don't. When you do that with Jalen Hurts, you get 2 Super Bowls and you win one. I agree with that. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? Oh, wait. Now we're not going there. Yeah, unless there's something smart from that guy, which highly is unlikely from Crowley. Brown signing makes me optimistic in the offseason's direction. The Packers' approach would be beneficial with this team. What's been the approach? Who have they signed that made you feel good? Okay? Seals, do you think Denver overplayed for Waddle? Let me get to that. Let me go there now. So listen, the Hollywood Brown deal. Here, I would do this. Hollywood Brown, it's a dude. I don't have any other, I don't know what to say about it. It's like another okay player. I think he's okay. I think in the role they're asking him to be in, I think it's okay. He's going to be the third wideout as of right now. Here's your problem, though. If that dude's your number 2, I think you got a problem. And when they move AJ and your wide receiving core, so, hey, get this. Okay? When AJ gets traded, Devontae Smith and Hollywood Brown and Darius Cooper is your wide receiving core? No. He's going to be your number 2, dumb Reyes. Flip-flopped in 5 minutes? For a number 3? It's okay. Bro, Hollywood Brown is a dude. Sills, H. Brown's strength is his speed. He takes the top. Okay. So in a West Coast offense, name me a West Coast offense that had burners on it. Jerry Rice ran 4.7s. I mean, the greatest show on turf, they didn't have burners. They had Torrey Holt, and who else did they have on that team? They didn't have like Haas. You didn't run a West Coast offense with McNabb. Seals, do you think the Broncos paying up to a 1 and a 3 for Waddles, the asking price? I'm going to swear to you I'm going to get to that. Well, gee, it's only been 6, let's see, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In his 7th year, he's going to throw for 4,700 yards and 32 touchdowns. Isaac Bruce, thank you, guys. Howie wanted more than what Miami got. I don't believe Jalen Waddle's that great a player. I think he's a really good player. There you go, Hollywood. West Coast is all about route running and changes at the offensive line. Very smart. You have been well schooled in football, my friend, unlike Dom Reyes. Hollywood is a journeyman. He's like a sixth man on a hoop team. That's a great analogy. I completely agree. Listen, like I said, hey, Sills, is the what do you make of a Hollywood Brown sign? I don't know. Like, I guess it's a sign. Like, what do you make it a Hollywood Brown sign? I don't know. I guess it's okay. I guess. Jalen is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl. You lost me when he won a Super Bowl. You think just because, so what? Hey, Spaz. So Sam Darnold's a top 3 quarterback too then, right? Or top 5. Is that what your take is? Sam Darnold's a top 5, right? So Sam Darnold's a top 5 because he won a Super Bowl. Yes? So Sam Darnold's a top 5. He's not top, he's top 3. So Sam Darnold's top 3 because he won a Super Bowl. So you'd rather have Sam Darnold, Spaz, over Joe Burrow, right? Hey, Spaz, you'd rather have him over Joe Burrow, right? Is that right? Over Joe Burrow. Depends on the offense. Only here can you get absolutely awesome content like this. Darnold has 28 wins and 31 in 2 years. In what world is that not top 3? Okay. So wait a minute. Actually, I think you're wrong. 14-3. 14-3. That's 28-6. And he's, what is he? He's 4-1. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. He's 3-1 in the playoffs in the last 2 years. So you're looking at what? 31-7? He's 31-7 in 2 years. So now he's elite, right? Jalen, top 1 on my cut list. Sam Darnold beat the Patriots because they sucked and he had a running game. Jalen had to win completely throwing the ball. Take away Sam's running game, and we don't win the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold beat the – yeah, we got that. You changed it. Sam Darnold beat the Patriots because they suckered and he had a running game. Jalen had to win completely throwing the ball. I don't know what that means. That's Sam's thing. Sam Darnold. I got it. see here. The deal is $5 million. It's $5 million. It's $5 million. It's a $5 million deal. Okay? It's a $5 million deal. And that's way more than the Eagles have spent on wide receiver 3. Dotson, $2 million, 2.75. Quez, a rookie deal. Okay. Congratulations. So maybe the Eagles will give Hollywood number 11 so they don't have to burn their jerseys. Chiefs sold out to stop the run in the Super Bowl. Jamarcus Russell could have made those throws. Elite. This is a great take. Stout lost his job because Hurts couldn't overcome. I agree. Seal's mad as fuck today because we made a good move. A good move with Hollywood Brown. A fucking Hollywood Brown move is now. Hey, by the way, Marsh, I'll give it to you. Of all the shitty moves you've made so far, no, the Woolen move is good. That's a good move. So this is probably your second best move? Yeah. I'll give it to you. Yeah, that's your second best move. Yeah. I can hear the hate. Why would I hate on a guy like Hollywood Brown? He's a nobody. Let's see. Let's see the last time Hollywood Brown was good. Hold on here. Let me go over here. Let's go to Hollywood Brown and his great career. I think he was good in Baltimore. Here's Hollywood Brown. Let me take a look at this guy's tremendous career. Let's see here. So Hollywood Brown, 584 yards in Baltimore, 764 in Baltimore. Look at that. 91 catches for 1,000 yards in 21. Next year after that, 767 catches. After that, 51 catches, 574. Got hurt in Kansas City. No, yeah, got hurt in Kansas City. And last year in Kansas City, he had 49 catches for 587 yards. This guy's had 4,322 catches and yardage in 7 years. And how many TDs? 33. 7, 8, 6, 3, 4, 0, and 5. Great sign. He is a perfect, Dumb Reyes says, a number 3. For a quarterback, hey, get this. It's a great signing by Howie. So, Sills, let me get this straight. You got rid of a headache in Gardner Johnson and added another one in Woolen. Hey, folks, let me go back up here to Dumb Reyes. And I'm going to show you something here. But the offense is going to change. Hold on here for a minute. Let's go down here to teams here. I want to do this one more time on the greatness of Jalen Hurts and the 3-hole in Philadelphia Eagle history. So let's take a look at the wide receiver number 3 last year. Let's see. Devontae and AJ off the board. Let's see number 3. Dotson had 18 catches. Cooper had 9. We're at 27 catches. Let's see here. Covey had 2. Michi had 4. So you had 33 catches in the 3-hole last year. He's a perfect number 3 when you don't even. So in 17 ball games. So wait a minute. What is that? Let me do this because you know I'm not very good at math here. So, let's see here. What is 33 catches divided by 17 games comes out to per catch per game? One catch per game last year came out of the 3-hole, and it's a great sign. Something like that. 1.6 catches per game. Great sign. Exactly. Jalen doesn't use wide receiver 3. So why? It's not. I like I said, I don't really care. At most, Holly will have 125. Well, let's see. What did Dotson at 262 for a guy who they don't throw the ball to? Hey, Kyle, you know what we should do? We should take a look and go back and do this. Let me go back here. Oh, yeah, I can. So let's go back to 2021. Let's go back to 2021. Hold on, regular season. How many catches came out of the 3-hole? Queasy had 43 catches one year. Oh, he was the number 2 wideout. That's why. Rager had 33 that year when Hurts was the quarterback. So he had 30. Shit, the best year they had was out of the 3-hole was in the first year. Wait a minute. 33. Ward had 7. So there's 40. So you had 40 catches in year 1 of him starting in 21. What do you have in 22? 22 regular season. Let's see. A.J. Brown, Devontae, there they are. Where's number 3? Watkins had 33. Pascal had 15. That's 48. So you had 48. So you had 40 and 48. Let's see what he had in 23. Boy, you really spread it around. Let's see here. Wide receiver 3. Guy had 10. Queasy had 50 at 25. Julio had 11. That's 36. He had 36. One more here. Let's see in the Super Bowl year. Wow, I guarantee you this thing's low. Let's see here. Number 3 wideout. Dotson, 19. Anus Smith at 4. There's 23. Wilson had 5. There's 28. You had 28 catches in 2024 out of the 3-hole. And what did we say last year? You had 33. So here's what you had in Jalen Hurts' time as a starting quarterback. As a starting quarterback out of the 3-hole since he's been in Philly. 40, 48, 36, 28, and 33 in 17 ball games out of the 3 wide receiver hole. Yeah, whatever. Hey, Queasy Watkins with better hand seals. You're a bona fide hater, man. I swear. I'm not a hater. Because I'm pointing out on what you guys don't do out of the 3-hole. But it's going to change now, right, Marsh? Because of Hollywood Brown. I'm not hating. I think it's a whatever sign. I don't give a shit. Hollywood Brown. What? That's a game changer? Hey, Sills, he's a competent guy to play the 3-hole. You don't go to him, man. I'm not. Now, listen, the problem I have with the sign, that's going to be your number 2 guy. Sills, the Hollywood move means Howie gets AJ replaced in the middle rounds, but now the Eagles have a Brown who can play out of the slot. Okay. All right. So here, hey, Bob, you go into the season. Here's going to be your wide receiving core. You ready? It's going to be Devontae Smith, Hollywood Brown, and Darius Cooper. Sills talks like that for Really? Really? Sills talks like that for 40 years. Go back to my playing day. Do you think I've not been like this since I was 16 years old? Yeah, no. I changed it to get a rile out of Jimbo. Whew. But shit, Jimbo. I'm so glad I got you going. Holy shit. I was really worried about it last night. I would send 32 mil pass dropping, not fighting for football's AJ, to the ass Jets or Cleveland for whatever. Bag of nails. Seals, I believe post June 1, Patriots will cave. All right, let's get to it. So, Jalen Waddle's deal, okay? Jalen Waddle's deal. I told you guys, and I've not changed one bit on anything on my prediction about A.J. Brown going to and the Patriots. Alonzo Highsmith told you the Eagles want a 1 and a 3. The Patriots want to give them a 2 and a 3. That's where they are. That's where they are. Now with Jalen Waddle is not a better football player than A.J. Brown. He's just not. And the Patriots, if they want Brown, it's a 1 and a 3. And get this, I didn't believe that the Patriots would be forced into doing this, but I agree now. I think it's a 1 and a 3, or you don't do it. However, you take a chance at imploding your football team. Okay? Thank you, my friend. I appreciate this. I believe this is the first time that I've seen you do this here. Sills, Eagles suck. Go Cowboys. Sign the bad guy. Thank you, man. We always welcome new people into the room here. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you very much. We got a newbie in here. I think your Cowboys have done some really good things. Now, they got to pay it off in September. They got to pay it off. It says opening day wide receiver will be Smitty, Hollywood, and a wide receiver drafted in the second round. Maybe. Watch this one. This is like my favorite kind of go-to. Oh, no. Can't do that. I can't click on people who say nothing. So when people say something that has some small bit of intelligence, you don't have – see, you could be as dumb Reyes, and I engage with him. But when you're dumber than Reyes, see, he's the low bar. He's like the Kirk Cousins of people in here. So anything below dumb Reyes, I'm sorry, I'm not really going to give you my time. Or if you do, you're going to have to pay for my time. Most of you in here don't, like, hey, Marshall's my boy. I love the guy. But most of the people in here that are like lower than dumb Reyes, those people have to pay for my time. Because I don't just hand it out like that. How you doing? How we not bringing that shit back in the locker room? He knows better. Okay? He knows better. This deal isn't that big other than giving us another depth piece. Yes, completely agree. Absolutely. You need to tell Sills to watch his mouth. He's going to write a check. His mouth can't cash. That's what's called sports talk there, Junior. Have opinion. Stick by it. Right or wrong. You ever hear of it? Or what? Let me guess. You have no conviction in your life, and you just waddle around, and you just what? Let me guess. What do you do? Just woke it around? Oh, that's okay. Wrong show, kid. You need to go over to those sports talk shows in Philly. They'll kiss your ass. All you have to do is suck up to the screen caller. Hi, this is Dumb Reyes, and I would like to get on and talk with Joe. Hey, the Eagles are fucking great. I can't believe it. Yeah, I need to get you on the air. So the AJ situation is like buying a new car with 5-year payment plan, and after 3 years changing your mind, you can't afford another one, so you're stuck with it. So run it until the wheels fall off. There you go. Are you going to run AJ until the wheels fall off? I like it. Ton of wide receivers in this draft. Absolutely, I agree. Who? Okay, Sue. Boy, you don't get out much, Sue. right? So you don't get out much. Man. M. Reyes versus Sills. Ooh. Boy, have I really elevated my game. Hey, Sills, do the Cowboys take Sills? Does the Cowboys 2 first for Pickens if they offer is good to pass up? I'm not trading Pickens, dude. You got a great offense right now. I think you get a couple more dudes in the offensive line, and you got to keep building that defense up. If I were taking some of those twos that the Cowboys have, I'd move up and get that kid Styles from Ohio State. I would. Okay? Dan, that's a guy that's never dropped the gloves and basically fought anyone. You're a big guy, bet you can still cash the checks. When I need to. When I need to, I could throw a dude off another building. Sorry, Aunt Betty. That brings back bad memories. So I won't. I apologize for that. So as we talked yesterday about the Eagles backloading contracts, it's becoming a problem with the cap going up annually. Shouldn't it offset? No, because what's happening is these contracts are starting to overrun the cap increase. Look at what the quarterback and look at the salaries that the quarterbacks, look at the salaries that the edge rushers are getting. I mean, 2 years ago, Josh Sweat went for $19 million. Now edge rushers are going for $35 million. Okay? Since you haven't gotten out of the chair in years, calm down. That's because when I was out of the chair, I created greatness. You ever hear of it? Being drafted, playing professional baseball, anything else? Yeah, I did all my work, Hoss. I'm good. I'm good being Big Sills. This place is so clueless on accounting. It's a crown. Yeah, you think? Eagles haven't even paid Hurts yet. No, they did. They gave him a contract, but they don't want to touch it. Well, you missed out when Bobby Valentine said the Mets sent me to the Cape Cod League and I was the property of the Mets. You missed that. You must have missed that interview. We got it for you on JAKIB. Oh, you got to go in the archives there, Sue. Go back and thumb through it. Or, Jesus, I forgot professional wrestling, too. How you doing? So those reports were the Sweat trade was fake reporting. Yeah, because there was too much money owed. Backloaded contracts favor the fucking team. Not with the money. It's starting to catch up, though, Slagger. Slagger, you're wrong, guy. It's catching up with them. It's starting to catch up. The bone crusher. Sills gets out of the chair when he has to get gas every other day in his Hummer. Oh, bro, the coolest thing that I've discovered because of COVID is that I have a studio that I never have to leave. And it's becoming to a point where, get this, it's hurting my walking because I sit and do many shows. Me leaving the studio would be like a seismic event. Seismic. I do a morning radio show for 3 hours. I do this, and I do weekend shows. Soon there's something else coming. I mean, leaving my house, that ain't happening. You know, Sue, I'll tell you about paying $9 a gallon in California. It's better than having one of those dudes on the Jersey Turnpike with those white gloves come filling my tank up. I always felt odd with a guy filling my tank up on the Jersey Turnpike. And they still do that bullshit. You can't fill your own gas up on the Jersey Turnpike. Guy, don't touch my gas cap. Just don't touch my gas cap. I can't even put fucking water in my for my windshield wipers, and the guy blew a gasket on me the last time, and then I had to go over to a Roy Rogers, and the guy was giving me shit about it. Okay? Still playing hardball baseball in 35 and older leagues and still throw in the high 80s. There you go, Charlie. Sills, if WIP threw a bag of money at you, you moving to Philly? Hoss. WIP doesn't have a bag of money. They're Odyssey. I mean, they're penny stock. They don't have a bag of money. What are you kidding me? I have a bag of money. You know what Howard Eskin and what Angelo Cataldi make and what they made, trust me, those two guys alone, they had to fire them. For the money that they're paying those guys are making 125 to 150 tops. Do you know what I made in Tampa alone? I made 250 in Tampa. You know what I made in Miami? I made $450,000. You know what I made at Fox Sports Radio? I made $500,000, and my wife made $70,000 as my producer. I'm not paying those jobs any longer. What are you crazy me? Bill Cunnilingus is probably making $98,000 a year. Come on, man. Ain't paying anybody anymore. Yep, I live in Jersey, so I'm used to it. Dude, I never got used to. I can't tell you how many times I go back and forth between Atlantic City and my boys in New Jersey. Or I drive up from when I was at Maryland, going up through New Jersey. I never got the guy having to do my oil. I'll do my oil and fill up my tank. I'm taking Charlie deep, dead center, 400 yards. How you doing, Martin? Are you sure you read my super sales? Diesel fuel killing me on the road. I just paid $8 a gallon. Let me see if I can't miss out anything on Marsh. So let me go back here. Marsh, I better not have missed anything on you because I fucking dig you, bro. This guy goes back and forth, and he is a true sports talk dude. Let me see here. Let me double check here. Hey, Queasy Watkins with better hand seals. You're a bona fide hater, man. I swear. I think I got them all. Oh, my God. I got you, Marsh. Where's Marsh here, man? Where are you, bro? Okay. Marshall got to be a truck driver. And wrong. Hey, Marsh, if you are a truck driver, get this, Marsh. Then I'm going to get to, holy shit, I haven't got to my topics yet. So, Marsh, I tried going from Connecticut to New Jersey. No, wait, to Patterson in a semi when I was a kid. I was supposed to get my delivery there in 6 hours. I was supposed to get my stuff in 6 hours. It took me 12. I had to sleep in the car, in the cab, because I couldn't get it going. Oh. Sileo, as a Niner fan, I'm scared of Philly because of Howie. Okay? I've been following your show for a while now. Let me tell you something about your Niners, dude. I think your 49ers are going to be a real good team this year. I think John Lynch is getting his guys back. I think they're with Mike Evans. I like the Evans sign. You get your health back. You're going to get Fred Warner back. I think you're going to get Bosa. What Bosa we're going to get back? Hopefully you sign Trent Williams. Your 49ers, that JV team beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Can you imagine how bad that ass beating would have been if they would have had their star players against Philly? They'd have beat them by 20. Backloaded contracts, only good for short-term success to win a Super Bowl within 3 years, 2 to 3, bites you in the long term, hence why our roster is always cut down and why you're signing one-year deals. We're going to talk about Howie here in a second. Oh, that thing was a train wreck. I was 19 years old, I think, when I did that. Does anyone in here understand the difference between salary and guaranteed money? I think everybody does but you. Seals, when the Eagles trade AJ away, do you think he goes down as their greatest wide receiver ever? I know T.O.'s a better talent. AJ's the best receiver you've ever had in Philadelphia Eagle history. Yes. And by the way, for the record, Hutch, Devontae Smith will never be better than AJ Brown. He's not a better talent. Yeah, I know. You're right. Whatever. Sills, these guys are delusional, just like their boy Philly 500. Like I said, man, I think the Cowboys have to pay it off, though, dude. Here, if the Cowboys win the offseason, of all the teams, actually, I think the New York Giants are winning the offseason in the NFC East. The Cowboys, if I were to rank them right now, the Giants with the biggest improvement, Cowboys, Eagles, and then the Commanders. That's where the offseason is right now. Eagles haven't done really well. Like I said, the kid from Seattle is a good sign. Who has better hands, AJ or Smitty? So let's see this. Let's take a look at that for a second. Let's see. Let's go to AJ Brown for a moment. Well, wait a minute. If Devontae's got better hands, why did they ever make him number one? Wait a minute. If Smitty's got better hands, why was he never the number one player here? Devontae Smith has never been the number one wide receiver in Philadelphia. And he's got the best hands? Yeah, try making that make sense. Let's see. Let's see here. Do they have drops? How many drops has A.J. Brown? How many years has he been in Philly? Since 23. How many drops has A.J. Brown had since 23? How many drop passes has A.J. Brown had since 2023? He's had 4 drops since the 23 season. You think he's got bad hands? A.J. Brown's had 4 drops since 2020. A.J. Brown has a total of 4 drops in the 2023 regular season, according to PFF. So here, 2023, he had 4 drops. 24, he had 0. Last year, he had 3 in the regular season. So he had 7 drops in 3 years. You think that's a lot? Let's see here. Yeah, he got here in 22. He didn't get here in 23 because they went to the Super Bowl with him. So let's go here. Let's revise that. Let's see here. How many drops has he had since he's been an Eagle? Is it 10? Since he's been an Eagle? 10 in 3 years. He had, in 2024, he had 0. Sills, Smitty can have better hands while AJ's a better receiver, just like Burrow or Allen are better quarterbacks, but Hurts is more successful. Okay? Let's see here. Smith has 20 drops. No, it's not a lot, but it proves he did drop all those against San Francisco on purpose. That, I don't think you can dispute that, dude. I don't. Let me get to the topics here. By the way, hit the like button. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you very much for coming aboard. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, like, our little interview with Angelo is now, kind of going out there a little bit, and people are commenting on it now. Angelo calling the Philadelphia media using the P word. Hey, yeah, it's all good. Yes, sir. I prefer Smith's route running, and here. Well, let me ask you something. That's never been answered by Eagle fans. So, Flash. Thanks, Reyes. So, Flash, you drafted Devontae number 10, right? Why did you draft a wide receiver or trade for a wide receiver and use a first-round pick the following year? If you thought Devontae was so great, why'd you do that? So you went wide out at number 10 in 21. And in 22, you traded for AJ. Why not? So wait a minute. Then you obviously didn't think Devontae was a number 1 then, right? Hey, dude, when Jamar Chase got drafted by the Bengals, he was a number 1. When Justin Jefferson got drafted, he was a number 1. When Devontae Adams got drafted, he was a number 1. Anything to do with fucking being young? Sills, this show makes my afternoons. I am currently a rectal cancer survivor doing well. You and Z do a great job. Thank you, bro. Bro, congratulations to you, man. I'm glad you rang the bell. Kudos to you, man. Who? The Eagles didn't think he wasn't a number 1, clearly. Yeah, they never thought he was. They haven't. Maybe they do now. Maybe they do now. Jefferson wasn't a number 1. So you're telling me Jefferson's first year, get this, folks, Jefferson wasn't a number 1. I'm talking about number 1 on the team. So Justin Jefferson, according to you, was not a number 1 receiver his first year in the league? Is that what you're saying? Justin Jefferson had 88 catches for 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns in his rookie year. In his first 2 years in pro football, he had 3,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. In 3 years in the league, he had 3,800 receiving yards and 28 touchdowns. That guy has always been a number 1. The fuck are you talking about, guy? Not a number 1. Dude, he had 1,400 yards on that team. He had 1,400 yards. Jefferson had 1,400 yards, and Adam Thielen had 74 catches for 924 yards. And you're telling me that he was the number 1 when the most targets were 125 targets for Jefferson and 108 for Thielen, and he was the number 1. Okay. Hey, I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Twiz at $32 million a year. he dropped those balls on purpose. It could be, man, because he didn't really have. Oh, he became the number one. Really? You mean a rookie became the number one? Gee. Well, how come? Well, wait a minute then. How come Smitty's never become the number one? Jefferson's no. Dude, I knew Jefferson was the number one in camp. Smitty has great skills, but he does not have the body to be the man in the scheme that we run. Smitty's finesse while AJ's power. The scheme will change, so Smitty's skill set will fit better. Well, you're hoping that the quarterback skill set fits too. If Kyler Murray can't move the needle for the Vikings, Jefferson will play the AJ card in 27. I would too. Okay? I would too. We could have had that dude. It's all good. AJ prefers to be traded over staying with the Eagles. Please tell me that's not true. You made that up. Eagles announced they agreed to terms. 1-year deal. Hollywood Brown. Where did you see that? Here we go. Hang on. If the Eagles were to trade A.J. Brown prior to June 1st, Philadelphia would take on a dead cap north of $40 million. We know this. By waiting until June 1st, their dead cap and cure would drop below $20 million for 26. Yeah, you're going to have to show me that line that Adam Schefter said that. I want to see that where he said that. You got to keep an eye on all you stunads out there. If Smitty was doubled and clouded by defense as much as AJ, he'd be Hollywood Brown. Smitty is always one-on-one. That's a great take, and always taking on the second corner. You're right. You're dead right. Smitty was a number one in his first year. Was a sure number one. He was drafted. Eagles put him on a lofty spot. Bro, you traded for a wide receiver the following year. Okay? They traded the following year a number one pick for the guy. Okay? Dolphins' total dead cap is $175 million. Man. Good thing for Eagles is either AJ being a post-June 1 trade, the draft pick would be for next year instead of this year. Correct. Both picks, if they get the 1 and the 3 that they want. So I got the first topic for you. By the way, Zander will join us at 3:30, and we will have Jason Cole at 4:30. All good? Okay? Yeah, and A.J. Brown is on a different level and a different style of receiver than Smitty. Then why didn't you draft a wide receiver the following? This makes no sense, dude. And by the way, M. Reyes, so you've wasted not wasted, but you used a 1 on AJ and you used another 1 on AJ, and you have $51 million invested in these two guys. And your passing game is 28th. It's coordinator, right? Hey, Kyle, I want you to do me a favor, Kyle. Kyle, I got to do something for you because you're my statistician. Will you tell me what the passing ranking was for 21. Wait, when AJ got here. 22, 23, 24, and 25. The Eagle passing offense. Let's see if I can do that. Hang on here. And what you guys have used in equity. Let's see if I could do that. See if I got here. Let's see here. Offense rankings. Can I go back to 23 here? Let me see here. Can I? What was the 23? 2023. What were they ranked? Okay. So here we go. Passing offense. The Eagles were ranked 16th in 2023. 16th. What were they in 24? Let me see here. The Eagles' passing offense was ranked passing offense was ranked 29th. Super Bowl year. Let's see what you were ranked this past year. 25. 2025 passing offense. Passing offense was ranked. Let's see here. That's rushing. Passing. 23rd. All right. So, my friends, gave up a 1 for AJ. You drafted Devontae number 1, and you spent $51 million. And in the years since you got AJ Brown here, by the way, what was it in 22? Got to be fair there too, in 22. So 2022. I'm assuming that was a good year. Let's see. Passing offense in 22. Offensive rankings in 22. Let's go here. Kyle, look that up for me on 22. 22, they had a 9th passing game. I thought it was good. Okay. So in 2022, you were 9th. That's the best it's been under Shane Steichen. So you were 9th. In 23, you were 16th. In 24, you're 29th. And in 23, you're 3rd. The offensive passing game has regressed since 22. 23 was better. The last 2 years, the passing game has been the worst. 24 was actually the worst, the Super Bowl year. And you spent $51 million and 2 first-round picks and $50 million on a quarterback to have that? You're not utilizing your passing game, and yet you're spending money on it. You ever wonder? You've gotten worse since 22. You were 9th. What happened? Quarterback stopped running, right? It's the quarterback. He stopped fucking running. And when the quarterback stopped running the last 2 years, you've been 29th and 23rd. And you think automatically you're going to turn that guy into some pocket passer? Get this. Those aren't moot stats. You know why? Get this. This is what Dumb Reyes said. This is how fucking dumb he is. Those are moot stats. We won a Super Bowl and haven't had the same coordinator in years. Then why did they change out the entire offensive coaching staff and fire Jeff Stoutland? Okay, answer that then. Hey, Dumb Reyes, everything you said's true. Then why'd they fire everybody? Then why'd they fire everybody? If you've had all this success, Jalen has not been a top passer. Jalen has been a top rusher in the offense every year. He's not been the top rusher. Jalen has been a top rusher. I'm not sure what that means. Why have they fired everybody then? If all that shit you said's true, then why'd they fire everybody? Why'd they fire everybody? I'll wait. I want to hear this. It's how you keep the scheme fresh. People like Stoutland wanted to keep the old way. And get this, folks. Jeff Stoutland on February 9th had the greatest running attack in pro football history. Within a matter of 5 months, this guy comes up and other people are saying that Stoutland got old. In 6 months? Dude, you're fucking dumb as a box of rocks. You make no sense. Fire Jeff Stoutland? Dude, you could force a guy out. To me, they fired his ass. They fired him because Jeff didn't want to do their bullshit. Jeff left the Eagles because they know it's a dying thing on the vine. That's why he walked out. He didn't want to be part of that. You ever ask yourself that question? Why did Jeff Stoutland walk away? He walked away because he doesn't want to be part of that bullshit. They wanted him to stay as the O-line coach. He said, fuck that. I'm not staying for this mess. I've got no interest in it. 22 and 23, it was a top. You weren't top 10 and 23. You were 16th. You were 16th in passing, dude. You were 16th in passing. Stoutland wanted to keep running power with a crippled interior. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Chris, what's his name? Cooper? I'm sure he's better. Get this, guys. Anybody in here who thinks Chris Cooper is a better offensive line coach than Jeff Stoutland is a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. Jeff Stoutland has forgotten more than what that guy Chris Cooper knows. Okay? Seals, mark my words, Stoutland will have a top 5 rushing attack for some team in the next 2 years. Not going idiotic, people. I didn't say Cooper was good. So you wait a minute. You fired a guy or you forced a guy out and you hired a stiff. Yeah, that makes sense. Anybody who believes that this dude's right, that Jeff Stoutland should have been fucking pushed out the door for Chris fucking Cooper, don't log into the show anymore. Stoutland was the problem last year. Was not the problem last year. Injuries and Petula were. I don't know if Cooper's good, but we'll find out. Boy, that's always good going into. Hey, that's like doing this. So let me go in that ocean, fucking submarine thing. Hey, I don't know if it's going to hold, but we're going to find out. And let's go in the sub and see if that thing can hold. Let's find out. Yeah, no, that's not me. Hey, get this. Let's go on an airplane ride and let's hope the wings hold up. Hey, we'll find out. Yeah, no, don't put me on that bitch. Don't be surprised if Stoutland lands with the Texans next year. Don't be surprised if Stoutland lands in New England next year. Seals, playing in the right scheme allows you to maximize talent. Tampa played you at the nose. Did that make you a bad DT? Nope. This organization does not understand the player-scheme relationship. Seals, so you leave no room for the idea Stoutland needed to go. Absolutely zero. Zero. Except for one thing. It's Nick's shop. Except for one thing. Nick's shop. But this will get him fired. You fired and pushed out Jeff Stoutland. And if that thing doesn't have massive success, they're going to look at you going, you fired Jeff Stoutland and the thing went off the rails and you put the thing at the bottom of the ocean, you're fired. Changing the scheme and firing Stoutland, you better be great. Not good. Not decent. You better be great. Stoutland makes it a bigger bullseye because of all these hires. I mean, dude, firing Jeff Stoutland, the only reason that Jeff Stoutland should have been pushed out was because it is Nick's shop. This is his shop. And he's the head guy. If Jeff wanted to go down that lane, he loses that, and I'm going to back Nick on that. Because the Eagles are backing Nick on that. But we'll see how that plays out. If Nick was right to fire Jeff Stoutland from being, get this, do we not agree? Jeff Stoutland was fired from the run coordinating job as the Philadelphia Eagle run coordinator. Is that yes or no? Do you agree? He was fired from being the run coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Right? No. He quit being the O-line coach. Okay. Well, that's a woke-ass word for being fired as the run coordinator. Fired as the run coordinator. Says, you think Lazard is the OC if Manning craps the bed? Also, you think he was given Brian Johnson treatment in Tampa? A little bit. I think Josh Gazard, I think the head football coach used him as an example and used him as an excuse for his inability to play and coach on defense. Doug P. said Stoutland had no problem taking input from him and Frank Wright, but wouldn't from Kellen, KP, or Nick. Why? Because he doesn't believe in what they're doing. Doug Peterson and Frank Wright and Nick and KP and Kellen. He probably didn't mind Kellen. Hey, by the way, Kellen's the one that conformed to Jeff Stoutland. Dude, he quit the fucking O-line job. He was fired from being the run coordinator. Yes, fired as the run coordinator, quit as the O-line coach. Thank you. Because he respected them, they were men, not little weasels. Hey, I'm going to say it again, though. Stoutland's wrong in one area. Though, head coach wants to do something, no matter who you are, player, coach, it's his ball and game, man. It's his bat and ball. You got to go with it, whether you're there. Yeah, it's his deal. And so Jeff bailed. I don't blame him. He don't want to be around for that bullshit. Listening to guys who've never done shit and a whole crew of them, I can't wait to see what Vic does. Hey, by the way, don't be surprised if that offense gets out to a slow start and that defense starts getting softer in the middle of the season. Because why? Too many 3-and-outs. Let's keep an eye on 3-and-outs at the beginning of the year this year. Okay? September, October, in there. Let's see what happens with them 3-and-outs if it improves. Because I think that's going to be the biggest problem you got there. is still correcting the 3 and outs. By the way, one more thing on this. The price for AJ is a 1 and a 3. We've been telling you this. I told you exactly what the Patriots said. The Eagles want a 1 and 3. They want to only give a 2 and a 3. True. We all have bosses unless you're signing the checks. That's correct, man. End of the day, when somebody says something that's signing your check, you got to fucking go, all right. Or leave. You don't have to be there. You know? Sills, I agree. You want stout, but consider that the kids were drafted were ready to step in when the line got injured. I know it takes time, but Williams, Hinton, Kendall, Lampkin kept Tooth employed. Dude, the depth of the football team is clearly not where it was when you had Steen and Fred. When you had Steen and Fred coming in for the group in 24, those were good backups. When those guys got elevated, Steen became a starter. Fred had to play a lot of the time over at right tackle because Lane got hurt. You had nobody. Let's see. Howie wants a 1 and a 3. New England wants to give him a 2 and a 3. Yes. I thought Howie wanted 1 and 3 and a player. I don't know about the player. All I know is that I'm being told that the Patriots only want to offer it a 2 and a 3. My contention is I think Howie's right. Because, hey, senor, if you give him a 2 and a 3, you're talking about what? The 30th pick, 31st pick in each round? Those are like 3rd and 4th round picks. I think if New England wants to make this deal happen on June 1st, now they can make it happen because of what they did with the Goddard deal. It's got to be a 1 and a 3. And especially since we've seen what Jalen Waddle just went for. Hey, Dan, you know, Vic likes to have a quarterback at safety. I think Cooper could be moved to safety now that they have Woolen on the outside. Cooper could do a lot at safety, plus help if we draft one. I would say this. By the way, there are 6 teams, I'm being told, that are in the AJ sweepstakes. One of those teams is going to get him. And the Eagles are moving him. The owner now wants him moved. Okay? Jimmy Sexton, his agent, and Howie Roseman are working with teams to try to make this happen. And they're trying to convince, again, if you want A.J. Brown, now there is something to the disgruntled player and his attitude. That's kind of holding the deal up a little bit. Okay? So there's 6 teams. I don't know all 6, but I do know the Chargers. The Rams want to move Devontae Adams. That's what's being said. They want to move him. New England, obviously. Buffalo still is in the mix. I'll tell you this. Here's what you have going for you is that New England and Buffalo, they're in an arms race. Buffalo's got to do something for Josh Allen to get him some better players at wideout. And after the Super Bowl, the Patriots know that May needs more if you're going to win it than having a guy like Stephon Diggs. Okay? I mean, and by the way, you know who I wouldn't? They just made a trade today for Jalen Waddle. Picked up all that money and gave first-round picks. I would not be shocked if the Texans get in this thing and get a wide receiver on the other side of Nico Collins for C.J. Stroud. They got to get that offense going. If they get that offense going, the Texans will win a Super Bowl. That's a great defense. Don't waste it. I love what they're doing in Houston. They're not ever going to rip that defense apart. I think it's got a lot to do with the head coach, DeMeco Ryans. Just like in Philadelphia, they don't touch the offensive side of the football. They rip apart the defensive side of the football. Sills, what can we look for in the offensive line that could tell us Cooper is the guy? I say in the running game. If you see Barkley having more success. Look, I don't know if they have the right offensive line or what they're going to try to do. I don't really know what they're going to try to do. I don't really think they're going to do much. I think it's just different thinking. I think they're going to do a lot of the same shit, add a couple more wrinkles with Hurts being under center. Other than that, okay? What's not true now? So I think Howie can win this trade with getting draft capital back. Waddle just got moved for a high amount. I agree. Seals, do you think they want to improve the O-line's health? Well, the only way the O-line's health improves if those guys just get rest, and they're resting now. And listen, if they start turning that offense into a finesse scheme, I mean, probably one of the reasons why you're right. Stoutland wanted out. But firing Jeff Stoutland from the run game. So let me get this right. Hey, Kyle. I wonder what the Eagle run game was the last 4 years. Let me see something here. So when did Barkley get here? Saquon Barkley got here in 24, right? So let me go back. When did Stoutland's been here? So let me go when Nick got here. So let's take a look at something here. In 2021, let's take a look at the run game in 21. Let's see. What was the running attack in Ford, and what was the running attack in 21? Offensive rankings. Let's see. Regular season. Rushing. What were they in rushing? Hey, Kyle, what were they in rushing in 21? I can't find 21. Let me go 22 here. (2022). So Stoutland, 22. Here we go. 2022. Were they third? In 23, the Eagles rushing. In 23, the Eagles were 8th. In 24, they were 2nd. Last year, what were they in 25? So this guy's never been out of the top 10 except for this one last year. Is that right? Every year Stoutland was the run game coordinator, they were in the top 10. And this last year rushing, the Eagles were 18th. So every year but 1 year, in 21, they were first in rushing. They were first, they were third, they were second, and they were 18th. Did you ever think that the injuries to the team had something to do with that? Wow. So the guy who had the most success on what he was in charge for in the entire Nick Sirianni era had one down year, and you fired that guy from that job? And you hired a guy and Chris Cooper? Okay. Sure. when you've gone through offensive coordinators every single fucking year since he's been here, the one thing that you did great for 5 years, guy has a down year because of the team being injured, you fired him. And you think you know better moving forward. Sirianni got carried. Sirianni got tired of carrying Sirianni with no credit. And Sirianni probably got tired of Stoutland getting all the credit. Everybody's got an ego here. Stoutland had Jalen in a straitjacket. Stoutland wasn't the offensive coordinator. Oh, I see. So a team that was 50-18 in 4 years under Jeff Stoutland's leadership in driving the ball and winning 2 NFC titles in a Super Bowl, you guys got tired of that. Solid. I can't believe those idiots fired Stoutland. It's not like Howie did a good job getting backup players for Stout. They had to trade to get Fred back. Get this. Everyone's getting excuses for the team, and Jalen Hurts gets excuses for the offensive guys in the O-line for being hurt. But Stoutland never got fucking credit for the injuries in the O-line? Oh, I see. Spinning tails. Get this. They were number 1 in 21 in rushing. In 23, they were number 2. And in 22 and 23, they were in the top 4. In 24, they were second. And last year, they were 16th in rushing. And it wasn't because of the injuries. Nobody on that offensive coaching staff over the last 5 years had more success than Stoutland. Not even Sirianni. All your fucked up coordinators had nowhere near the success that Jeff Stoutland had. But one down year in the run game, because the team was injured, hey, if you're going to give Jalen the pass, you got to give Stoutland the pass, but no. Okay. And then you fired the entire offensive coaching staff, except the wide receiver coach and the running back coach. Okay. So here, let me do this one. Why are you giving Howie Roseman the benefit of the doubt again compared to what last year happened? Let's do this too. In 2023, here, this is Nick's last shot. Let him go out with a bang. Boom. So in 2023, Howie did dog shit in free agency. 24, he was spectacular. 2025, he was bad. Am I wrong? 23, he was bad in free agency. 24, he was spectacular. 25, he was bad. Now in 26, how's he done so far? How do you think he's done? How do you think he's done? This is now year 4. I get it. The 24 season, that gives you a shitload of equity. I completely give that to you. You earned it. That's massive equity. That's massive equity. 23, he was bad. 24, he was great. 25, he was bad. And 26, yet to be determined, but so far, not a good start. Stoutland was a run game coordinator since 2018. I was talking just about the Sirianni era. I'm talking about the Sirianni era. Since Stoutland came in 2013, the Eagles have had a top 10 rushing game until 2025. Is that a Rasputin? Is that a fact? So Jeff Stoutland, since 2013, the Philadelphia Eagles have been in the top 10 in rushing. And you fired the guy. Name me anyone in the league that has done anything remotely close to that, passing or rushing. Sean McVay? So is that right, Rasputin? Since 2013, Jeff Stoutland has had a top 10 rushing attack? Oh, boy. I'll tell you, you guys, man, it never ends, baby. This is just content gold. How you doing? Okay? How are you doing here? All right. Man, do we got a lot to get to here. Hollywood Brown. Yes, sir. Where do we go here? Where am I going to start with? Big Z here. All right. So I want to start with this one here. Hey, by the way, guys, super chats go to the top. We'll read them at the end here. Without further ado, we bring our friend in from Birds 365, Big Z. Zander Krause joins us right now. How you doing?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
This guy calls me an old head.
You are an old head.
Yeah, this guy calls me a fucking old man.
I don't call you an old man. There's a difference between being an old head and an old man. Have you experienced more life than I have?
Yes.
Have you been through more shit than I have, good, bad, and different? Do you have more experience covering football? You're an old head. That's a good thing.
I guess so here, man. All right.
See, I'm not like a lot. I think old heads are valuable. I don't think I know it all. I'd rather learn from people like you. I don't think it's a not. What are you, sensitive?
I'm feeling a little AJ Brownish today.
I heard you say the thing about I had to shave my face because Zander and Mike told me that I was old or something. I mean, what's the matter, Sills?
Nothing's matter.
You need your Midol?
Nah, hold on, I got to get my cream on. I got to. Hey, by the way, how was the pot pie for dinner?
I can't. I preheated an oven. I clicked the button. It's like you clicking the link to come on the show. That's what that requires of me.
Oh, well, that takes more than you think for me.
I believe it. I believe it.
All right, dude. Let's start with the big one here. Not Hollywood Brown either yet. I want to go with Jalen Waddle and that deal that the Broncos. Hey, do you want to hear something, guys? If you look at the Broncos offseason so far, that's the first move they've made.
Yeah, no free agents.
No free agents, nothing.
Wild. Yep.
Okay. 1 of the 3, basically. That's the price for AJ, right?
You know, Sills, I actually think this is a bad thing for Eagles, for AJ. Because everybody's like, oh, well, if Waddle gets a 1, shouldn't that mean AJ gets a 1? But, you have to factor in the simple supply and demand economics here. Just because somebody's worth something doesn't mean that you're going to have a buyer for it. You might have a $50 million yacht and it might be worth $50 million, but you got to find the buyer for it. I can walk up to it and say, hey, your yacht's worth 50. Yes, it is, but I'm not a buyer. Guy will say, well, whatever. So I think
the market has shrunk.
Exactly right. I mean, think about how many teams are willing right now on any given year, not even right now. How many willing teams are looking for, wait, this is a big thing. It's one thing to say a lot of teams want a good receiver. How many teams are ready and capable to take on a 29-year-old aging wide receiver, $32 million, giving up a first-round draft pick, taking on everything that comes with AJ? Now, that to me is 6 teams who think they compete for a Super Bowl. Now you got a bunch of them have already went and acquired wide receivers. This one was big because Denver was a team that was clearly willing to trade assets for a player. They went with the younger player in Jalen Waddle. I saw it come out today. they didn't even inquire on AJ Brown.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So I actually, as much as I think it shows that AJ Brown is worth a lot, I don't think it's a good thing for the Eagles that teams keep falling out of the race. I mean, if the Patriots are the only team in the running, well, guess who has the leverage? I think the Patriots do.
Well, that's all under the assumption that the Eagles are not wanting to move the guy. I think that shifted, Zander. I think they want the player out now.
It seems like it.
Because every guy that you get on your program, I have yet, and John's gone 80-20 now on this. Zander, it looks to me now that it's being fed out now that I think the owner's fed up with it. I think he just wants to move on and get this drama out of the building, because when you get that noise out of the building, listen, in the interim, it's going to hurt, but in the long run, it'll be better. You know what I'm saying? When, like, moving off of T.O. had to hurt the Eagles back in the day, but they had to. They had to move off of the player. I'm not saying that he's T.O. because I don't believe he is T.O., but it's a distraction to what, Zander, if I'm trying to teach people French or Italian, and I got a guy over here constantly upsetting my classroom, I want to get that guy out of my classroom. You're going to be going through a metamorphosis of trying to change that offense from one situation to another, whatever level that is. You need everybody's focus. And if you have a guy that's bitching and doing other things and not caring, I don't know, man. I think that shifted. Do you think that shifted with the ownership now? With ownership now saying, look, it's time.
My bad. I think you brought up a good point yesterday about, when you start jumping through hoops and it basically doesn't look good for you. In other words, you have to take on, X amount of cap hit. Like, it's a negative deal basically for the Eagles. Yeah, I think you could look at it as probably the owner intervened, but I don't know, man. Is it also, do you also try and maximize the player at this point? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing too, where AJ might not be worth, he might be worth a 3 next year, after this year. So I don't know that they're ready to move on from him, but I do think AJ's making it really hard for him. And, let's see what Philly 500. I don't agree at all. He says Eagles will stay with Brown unless they get what they want. Otherwise, Brown say, well, Philly, you might be right. I mean, they could back him into the corner and just say, all right, we're not trading you. But I mean strictly from a getting what you want type of thing. Philly might be right that they might just keep AJ. I've been saying that because I don't think Howie wants to lose the trade. I mean, how many times have I said that this summer?
Well, here, I'll say this. If you wait a year, you're not getting a 1 next year for him.
Oh, no. Again, I think the amount of teams who are willing to trade for a 29-year-old wideout who really didn't have a great year, by the way, last year. I mean, that was the worst I've seen AJ Brown look since he came to Philly. $32 million plus the first-round pick. I mean, you're lucky if it's 5 teams, right? And a couple of them are probably out of the sweepstakes. Now, I do think a team to think about is maybe the Ravens. Remember, they were willing to send 2 1s for Crosby. They reneged on it, but maybe they look at those 1s as maybe more dispensable at this point. They have Lamar Jackson, who that window might be closing up a little bit. So maybe they try and take advantage of an older receiver who's more established.
Especially in the AFC. Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah. So you think he is diminished. Kyle, do me a favor and do Zander and I a favor here. In the last 2 years, how many games has A.J. Brown gone over 100 yards? I want to see how many games.
Yeah, I could pull it for you. Give me a sec.
I'd like to know how many games that he's had over 100 yards in the last 2 years. With the Eagles,
did someone do it in the chat? Is that why you said Kyle in the chat?
Yeah, because Kyle does that for me. I mean, I'd like to know how many 100-yard games he's had in the last 2 years. 8?
Yeah, it's been quite a bit. He had 1, 2, 3 in a row last year. And by the way, 3 straight losses for the Eagles in those games. Dallas, Chicago, and the Chargers. He had 3 straight 100. He had 121 versus Minnesota. That was a win. And he had 109 versus the Rams. So he had 5 games last year of over 100 yards.
5.
And then if you go to 2024, he did not have a playoff game with 100 yards. He had 96 in the NFC Championship game. That's not a hundo. He had 110 versus Pittsburgh. He had 109 versus the Rams, 109 versus Dallas. And then the first 2 weeks of the year, 119 and 116. So he had 10 games over a hundo.
In 34 games. How do you think that is?
What's that?
10.
Yeah,
10
not great, but also not that bad.
Okay. Okay. So you think he's diminished in skills?
I don't think he's diminished in skill, but I think he might be on the other side of the peak. You get to Mount Everest, you could still be high up there, but you're on the way coming down. I think he could be coming down. The other thing is, it's hard to gauge last year. Was last year AJ getting worse, or was last year it was AJ Brown in his own head, lack of focus,
A scouting report. His scouting report. He loses focus when things aren't going his way.
Here's a Nimrod. AJ's only a year older. So AJ will be 29 this summer and enter the year at 29 years old. Jalen Waddle just turned 27 in November. So take it for what you want, my friend. 27-year-old playing season for Jalen Waddle and 29-year-old playing season for AJ Brown. One's making $32 million, one's making 20-something million. You tell me, Lib. Name is fitting for you, Nimrod.
Yeah. I think Jalen Waddle, you think he has more value than AJ?
No, I don't. I don't think he's a better receiver.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I'm a Bama guy. I love Jalen Waddle, but he's not. He's not in AJ Brown's camp.
No way. All right, let's go over to this Hollywood Brown thing. What'd you make of it?
Good signing if he's the third. If he's the third guy, I think I like it because it stretches the field. He's obviously a speed guy. He's got 4,000 plus yards in his career. I think over 30 touchdowns in his career. So he's a talented player, but I don't think he's a huge piece. You give him, up to $6.5 million. Love him as a wide receiver 3. If he's our wide receiver 2, I got problems with it.
Yeah. And right now, most likely, it looks like it could be the way things are talked about that he's your season. You could go in with Devontae Smith, Hollywood Brown, and Darius Cooper as your wideouts.
You could, but remember, I want to remind people of this too. I know things maybe don't look that great for Howie since the Super Bowl right now. But last time the Philadelphia Eagles were in a predicament where they needed to make a big trade for a franchise player, Howie took that and turned that into gold. You arguably don't have Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, or any of these guys if he doesn't play that Carson Wentz trade the way he did. Because remember, he didn't just trade it for a pick. He took the picks. He had 2. Then he moved back for Devontae. When he was at 6 the year he drafted Devontae, he traded back before the draft to 12, picked up another first-round draft pick, then moved up to 10, drafted Devontae Smith, still had 2 picks the following year. Like Howie shaked and baked, man, on that Carson Wentz deal. He got gold out of that trade. So I'm not saying that he's going to get gold out of A.J. Brown, but I think Howie's going to figure out a way to make it beneficial for the Philadelphia Eagles. I do. Okay. Howie's been good at that, man. This is kind of where Howie thrives. I need to look outside the margins and figure out where to get the most value in a tough situation. I think you might be able to do it. Let's see.
Okay. One of my topics was, so you're giving him again the benefit of the doubt, and you correct me if you think I'm overcooking it and over sillyizing it. Okay. if I'm overcooking this. In 23, he was terrible in free agent signings. 24, he was spectacular in free agent signings. And in 25, he was terrible in free agent signings outside of Jalen Phillips. And in 26,
that wasn't a free agent. That was a trade.
Oh, that was a trade. That's right. And okay, you're right. In 2026, so far he's been I don't know. I think he's been okay. I don't think he sucked, and I don't think he's been great. I think he's kind of in the middle there somewhere. So how do you think he's been since 4 years where he can do something in free agency? There's not a lot you can do anymore in free agency. There's nothing.
I think he's been good, but I do think if you're being honest, you're going to have to look at what Angelo said yesterday, and maybe I'm not saying he's correct yet. But the trend is certainly there and can be flagged. 2 years ago, the Eagles were undisputably, even by yours truly, the great Dan Sileo, known as the best roster in the football.
Yeah.
They were. I mean, they were undisputedly the best roster in football.
Undisputed.
And their results showed that, right? I mean, they were, two or 3 years in the Super Bowl, obviously the ring in 2024, just incredible run of success the Eagles have had. And now you look and you're like, man, how many guys have gone on the defense? I mean, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Jalen Phillips. I mean, the names just keep adding up, and right now, are they going to be able to replace all those guys and be as good as they were? I don't know. Here's the thing where I give Howie a little bit of slack, though.
Okay.
I mean, is it Howie's fault that the offensive line fell off a cliff? They're all young and they're all appropriately paid. I didn't see one person crying about them when they got a contract, me included. I didn't even hear you rip them for giving those guys contracts. It made a lot of sense. Those guys fall off the face of the earth or have a really bad year, which impacted the offense negatively. I don't think that's on Howie Roseman, but it does make his job tougher. And you got to take the good with the bad when you're the GM, right? So he's gonna have to deal with that. But I don't think that's on Howie. And the defense hasn't been the problem still, even with all the departures. Now we haven't seen this season yet, but defense wasn't the problem last year. So I think the offense is the bigger problem.
Do you think the last 3 years that the void years and the money that they send out in the future is starting to catch up with them?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Because doesn't it look like he's moving? Before it looks like he was moving with leaps and bounds, right? Now it looks like he moves in baby steps, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, and part of that is, when you draft as good as Howie has, it does get harder. I mean, and you obviously understand that because you want to pay guys. I mean, we're letting guys walk at $30 million, and they weren't, they weren't even in the cards to be paid.
Yeah.
And they're drafted players, so it's pretty incredible. But the downside to that is it does get very hard in the cap crunch. Where you're trying to pay your homegrown guys. I mean, what I don't like is, I don't like when they go above what they need to go just to make a point. And I don't know if that's why they do it, but for example, Jordan Davis, I'm really happy he got signed, but are you telling me you couldn't have got that deal done at $22 million or $20 million? I mean, you gave him $26 million. You paid him like he's a star defensive tackle.
A 3-down
nose tackle. There's no precedent for paying that kind of money for a guy who played 78 snaps on third down. Saquon Barkley, signs a big 2-year contract. And the year after, I get it. He had a historic year. I appreciate the sentiment of paying him, but this is a business. Now you're saddled with Saquon Barkley's contract and a bunch of dead money and void years and all the things on that. I mean, A.J. Brown. Now, A.J. Brown would have gotten a new deal by now anyway. Yes. But if you remember, they gave him 4 years, $100 million at the draft, traded the 18th overall pick for him, give him $60+ million of guaranteed money. 2 years later, they re-up the deal, make him the highest paid receiver in football again with 2 years left on the contract, for $32 million. It's like now we're trying to get rid of A.J. Brown and we have a $40 million cap hit. I think sometimes they jump the gun a little bit on going too big for players to try and, I don't know if it's make an impact, how he likes to set the market type of thing. I don't know if that's why they do it, but I think if they could be more disciplined, you could find yourself $15 to $20 million pretty easily,
I will say this to you on that Jordan Davis deal. Man, I mean, is he a top 5 inside DT?
No, he's not. Come on, man. I'm a big Jordan. I've been fighting with you on Jordan Davis for a long time. I mean, he's not a top defensive tackle. So not yet. Not yet. And the Eagles, it's been told to me that the Eagles are projecting it. It's a projection for the future. That's what contracts are, right? That's what drafting is. It's projected he's going to be a 3-down player. That's fine to me for a draft pick. It's not fine for a max contract. I mean, you don't give find me another player that gets max contract money.
I'm looking right now at the grades for internal defensive tackles, and I'm like, dude, I mean, Quentin Williams is a better football player. I'm sorry, he's a better football player than
Quentin Williams is a baller, dude. I mean, by the way, can I ask you a question? What is up with Mark Holmes? And I think we're gonna have him on tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is up with him calling Quinnen Williams Quinton? Every time I've heard him say the name, since they traded for the guy in the middle of the year last year, he's Quinton Williams. I'm like,
It's Quinny.
there's nowhere is there a T.
There's no T in it.
Nowhere on any television broadcast, on any sports show, do you hear Quinton Williams. How is he Quinton Williams? He's your best defensive tackle. I mean, that would be like me calling Jalen Carter Jalen Farter. I mean, it's like weird.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Mark Holmes, get it right.
Well, that'll be a bitch tomorrow here. Hey, so let me go here on AJ here. Wait. I want to go back to a conversation we had about Stoutland. Do you know since 2013 that the Philadelphia Eagles have had a top 10 rushing attack? And in the Nick Sirianni era, you've had the number one rushing attack twice. You've been in the top 5 all but 1 year. I mean, Zander.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing.
And it fell apart like this. I think I have a massive problem with this guy being fired, man. I have a massive problem.
Dude, he wasn't fired, man. Remember,
he was fired from the run game coordinator job.
That story that Adam Kaplan said right here on your program is true. I like Jeff Stoutland, but dude, at the end of the day, I mean,
it's Nick's house.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you love your daughter. You're not going to let your daughter tell you what to do in your home.
No.
I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. So I think maybe Jeff Stoutland got a little bit emotional about it, and doesn't change my opinion of him. I mean, I think he's obviously one of the best of all time in Philly, and I'm appreciative of what he's done, but I can't really sit here and fault Nick. I mean, he wanted to walk out the room. I mean, remember, Sills, we had a really bad running attack in the first half of the year last year. Really bad. Like, it was like 3-4 a carry or something.
So that was on Jeff?
I'm not saying it was on Jeff. What I'm saying is the idea that there shouldn't be any conversation about a change in that moment doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if I were Jeff Stoutland, I would expect the head coach to come in and be like, hey, man, we got to figure out this run game.
Yeah, but I also heard Kaplan say that he was always open to listening to people.
I'm not saying it's Jeff's fault at all. I'm just saying that, it doesn't surprise me that there was a change there, and maybe Jeff took it personally. I mean, isn't that kind of what Kaplan said?
Yeah, he did take it personal. He did take it. All right, so what do you think is going to be harder to find on this defense in the next couple months as you get ready for September? Safety, edge, or wide receiver? If you lose AJ.
Probably edge. I mean, the reason that I'm not as concerned about the offense is because the offense hasn't been the method to our madness in the last couple of years. It really hasn't. In 22, you could argue the offense was because Jalen was super dynamic that year. It wasn't a super high statistical offensive output, but it was it did take the league by storm kind of that year. He was the first guy in a little bit to really have some major success with the RPO, at least in that season, and that was early Jalen Hurts. So that was different. But 24 and 25, I mean, we're a defensive football team, so my question is, how does the defense stay or do they get worse? The offense, are they going to get worse? I mean, can they get worse? What were they ranked last year? 26th?
The passing offense was 23.
All right.
They were 23. And the year before that, they were 28th or 29th.
Yeah. So how much worse can it get? I guess it could get a lot worse.
It could get here. And here, Zander, since 2022, when AJ Brown got here, here's your passing numbers. You're 9th. You were 16th and 23. Remember, that was a top 8 offense overall, though, because of the running. You were 16th in passing. You were 9th in 22. Yeah. You were 29th in 24. And you were 23 in 25. You tell me, dude, you invest $50 million in your wideouts, and you invest $50 million in your quarterback. You fire all the coaches on offense. I mean, how is the offense going to get better? In what way, if you're just changing the guys who are calling the plays and you're keeping the same people, aren't you going to have the same problems?
Well, I mean, there's evolution, so I don't know that you'll have the exact same problems. But I mean, look, isn't this kind of the offense we have right now, Sills? I mean, we don't really have a high volume attack, which, by the way, I do think, as much as I like them, I do think they're overrated. I mean, dude, there's a lot of good passing attacks in the game that do not ultimately lead to the results that you want them to lead to. I'm not saying I'm happy to be the 25th overall. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's maybe a little overrated to say all we need to do is fix the passing game. I mean, I think being a well-rounded football team, playing complementary football, those are the more important things to me. Can they get back to that? Here's what I think the offense really has to fix. And it has nothing to do with the offense or the passing game going up. You can't take 3 and outs at the highest clip in the league. I mean, that's insane. That's insane for field position. It's insane for your defense. You're not going to win a lot of football games that way. You're not going to go deep in the playoffs that way. You got to fix the 3 and outs, and the early down thing that John pointed out all year, really, and you were talking about it as well, where, I mean, you're losing 2-3 yards on first down running the football. I mean, ask any coordinator in the league. You're behind the sticks after first down. Your whole playbook goes out the window.
You got to win first and second down.
Right. Exactly. That's something you've been saying on this show since you started here, probably a lot longer than that in your other shows. So those to me are what they got to fix. Can you start to win those early downs, and can you stop the 3 and outs? If the passing game is pedestrian, which I assume it will be again, I'm good with that. But they got to find ways to move the sticks. They got to find ways to stay on the field. And I think the other big thing on the offense is Jalen is going to have to get back to making teams pay when they let him sit back there, or they don't spy him, or they don't care about him as a runner. If he doesn't do that, I think the offense is going to struggle. I mean, you look at when our offense has been at its best, it's when everybody's got to worry about AJ, Devontae, Goddard, Saquon, all these guys, and then you have Jalen Hurts who takes it for a 12-yard keep on 3rd and 9, and you're like, I had him dead to rights. Now we're back on the field. There wasn't a lot of that last year. So those are probably the top 3 things that I think the Eagles offense has to fix going into the year. It's actually not as much about the passing game to me.
Do you agree this has been the problem from a year ago compared to what you did in 24? I looked it up. Do you know in 2024, your success rate on 3rd down and 4 or less was 68% success? Do you know what your success rate on 3rd down was last year?
Got to be low.
It was 25% because you were in 3rd and 6 or more almost the entire season. 28% success rate. You went from 68% to like 28% success rate on 3rd down. There was your season.
Do you think there's going to be an improvement in play calling next year?
I can't answer that because I don't know what these people have ever done situationally. You know what? I think Nick is like, he's like this new age coach, Zander, that these guys draw this shit up on the board and they think it's going to just work. Vic doesn't do any of that. He's gut feeling. He uses analytics as a barometer on how, if their stat fits what he wants to call. There's more gut feeling. I think they are so by the book. And it looks like a cookie cutter. Remember, I've been saying this also since I got here. It's a cookie cutter offense. It's like they do this on 3rd down. They do this by the percentages. They do everything by the percentages.
Which is okay if it works. If you're able to bully teams.
But if your team is injured and you don't have that, you're going to go by the book. Get this. Tell me if this made sense, Zander. So you're going to go to analytics with an offensive line that's got the left guard injured and a center injured and a back who's not playing as best as he did the year before. You're going to run the same analytics and just say, hey, that play should work. And as John says, that play should work, but it's player execution. Well, fuck, it's the wrong play. I don't want to hear a guy go like this. I called the right play, but the players didn't execute it. That's not play calling, bro. You got to counteract that shit. So this is why me and John got in that argument that one time, is because of this. John thinks if you call a play and the play doesn't work, it's player execution.
Right.
My mentality is, why would you fucking call that play in the beginning? if you know that play has a shot at a failure. I've got to
Yeah,
find
but because every play is a shot at failure.
well, in a game, I've got to start finding 10 plays that work, and I've got to funnel that down.
It's like, dude, it's like Brady used to say, right? It's like probabilities. You know what I mean? Like you're gauging probabilities. So maybe they weren't gauging the proper probabilities well, but I think there's gray area, right? Like I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, but I also think there is times where the execution is poor and a play might have worked. You know what I mean? I don't think it's one or the other.
That pass that Saquon dropped? Remember that pass he dropped?
Which one? I felt like he dropped every other.
Was it Atlanta? Remember what was it?
Yeah.
That was the Super Bowl. Was it Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like, I'll ask you the question that I tell, and I make an example of. Would you rather have Michael Jordan shooting a 25-footer to win a game, or would you rather have Jabbar on the box with a 5-foot jump shot to win a game?
Ooh, that's a tough pick. Give me MJ. No, you're going to take Jabbar. I know what you're saying.
I'm going to take Jabbar because the higher probability of me succeeding, because it's lower odds of failure than a 25-footer.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, throwing a pass in the flat to a guy who could drop the ball versus turning around. Or how about this? You know the Super Bowl that Marshawn Lynch? They should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch, and they threw the ball down there on the 2-yard line, and Malcolm Butler caught that. That had made no sense. I mean, Pete Carroll came out of his – you go, why would you even go down? The probability of a tip pass, an interception, fucking fumble, anything like that, you're trying to limit probability. You're trying to go, I'm trying to look for the best successful play I possibly can when it comes to those situations. 3rd and 3, I get beast mode. Bro, I'm hammering that guy in there, and if I don't get it, I don't get it.
And if he doesn't get in, you live with the result, right? You live with the result.
You live with it because the other team made a great play. My problem with Nick and how he runs his offense, Nick runs his offense like this. Well, the players should have made that play. Okay, well, why don't you put the player in a better position? If you think that guy, there's a higher probability that guy is going to drop that pass or tip that pass, run something else. I agree with John on this. Player execution is the key to success. It's completely the key to success. But if you guys are going to bitch about play calling, fucking call the right plays. And these guys don't. Kellen Moore did something that he had to make every Eagle fan know that it's Nick and completely Nick's game. Kellen Moore has never called an offense in his entire career as a coach, except the way he did it in Philly, because they knew that the quarterback can't do certain things. Kellen Moore has gone back with Tyler Shuck and has done different things with that quarterback. Bro, Kellen Moore told you exactly who Jalen Hurts was. It's not a bad thing. He just showed you how you're going to win a game. You need an effective run game, and you need a lights-out defense. Shit, didn't Seattle show you how to win a Super Bowl too with Sam Darnold?
That's that doesn't only apply to Jalen Hurts. I mean, you can make an argument that applies to every quarterback. For the most part. Yeah, right.
By the way, I'm not having Brock Purdy run the fucking RPOs when I know
your boy Josh Allen had the number 1 running back in football last year in a top 10 defense, Sills, and no Mahomes, no Lamar in the playoffs. And he still fell flat, Sileo.
And he had Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls as wide receivers.
Bullshit. Yeah, you give that guy more excuses than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
No. Here. Okay, then what was yours last year with Jalen and the Eagles?
Offensive line sucked.
Oh, even though you had a $240 million.
I'm not giving Jalen an excuse. Wait. Don't change. I have never given Jalen Hurts an out. I have been pretty honest about when your offense blows, your quarterback has to be a part of the conversation. If he's not, the story to me ends right there. I don't – obviously, Jalen is a part of it. But I'm just calling out a little silly old hypocrisy.
Hey, I'm just being fair here now. Okay? I mean, I'm just being fair. All right, so I got another one here for you. So, Sean Mannion, how do you think he feels about all this stuff with AJ? Don't you think if you're going to give your new offensive coordinator a chance of success? Why are you getting rid of your best offensive weapon?
Well, he was, he's new here, dude. You're the new guy on campus. I don't really care what you got to say, to be honest with you. I mean, it is what it is. AJ, this has gotten to where it's gotten to, before he showed up. So it's not anything about him, and it's not anything against him. This is just the reality of the team that you came and worked for. This is a situation that happened, and has unfolded before you got here. We're trying to keep him for you. Hey, maybe Sean, why don't you give him a call and tell him how you're going to use him? Maybe entice the guy a little bit. Maybe do something like that. But I don't think he feels any sort of way. I mean, why did he take the job if he feels a certain way? And if he does feel a certain way, then so be it. Sack up and get to work.
He took the job because he got a raise.
He took the job because, well, of course he did. He got a big raise, and everybody's all high on him, and Jalen Hurts called him excellent.
Yeah,
no, what did he call him? Amazing or excellent?
Amazing. It was
amazing. He said. Jalen Hurts says amazing. Let
me show you what
guys probably had like a 4.5-minute phone call with him.
Oh, did you hear the news? I didn't tell you about Jalen Phillips. You want to hear something really fucked up about the deal and negotiations that went on between the Eagles and Jalen Phillips that you all always don't know? Jalen Phillips never spoke at all to Dan Morgan. Never got on a Zoom. Never got anything. And Rosenhaus just called up Dan. Dan gave him a deal. They never even spoke. They never did an interview. They never did anything.
You mean with Jalen Phillips?
Yep. There was no communication between the Panthers and Jalen Phillips. Zero.
Well, congratulations. They overpaid for
wait a minute.
I like Jalen Phillips, but come on, dude. Let's not.
That means you were never in it.
I know, but we cannot have revisionist history here. Before free agency, me and you legitimately discussed if $20 million for him was an overpay. $22 million.
I don't remember.
30. We never even came to 30 in the ballpark.
I don't remember that.
He's not that guy, dude. He's not. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to replace him, but he's not that guy. I mean, what do you want me to get upset they didn't pay Jalen Phillips $30 million? I bet you the Panthers cut him in 2 years. I guarantee it.
No, what I'm telling you is that Howie came in and they never really were in the ballpark in trying to figure out a deal for him. They came in at 25 and they never even thought about it.
Because he went to 30. You wanted them to be in the ballpark just to make you feel better. So that
I wanted them to be in the ballpark to make him think about it. Do you really want to be in Carolina and lose?
No, because I don't want to pay him $30 million. What good does him thinking about it get me?
You know what? And you guys had somebody on this morning, and John goes, "What's the difference between 27 and 30?" And I went, "Over 4 years, $12 million."
Yeah, that's correct. No, he was saying it from Howie's perspective, actually, though.
Yeah, what?
He was saying it from Howie's perspective.
Oh, okay. Yeah. From my perspective, that's 12 large.
Yeah, no, he was saying that why don't the Eagles just pay it? Yeah. Is what he was saying. But, I mean, come on, man. Jalen Phillips, $30 million large. Are you kidding me, dude?
Years, too.
I mean, come on, brother.
There's only 2 deals that got 4 years.
I mean, how many edge rushers in the league even make 30?
Dude, I mean, I'm not there. How about this? You want to see a shitty organization? So Tagovailoa, this is a cap. Listen to this. $50 million against the cap. This is the Dolphins going into this year. $50 million against the cap. Tyreek Hill, 28.2. Jalen Waddle, 26.3. This is Jalen Ramsey, 20.9. This is Fitzpatrick, $13 million. This is Bradley Chubb, 10.9. This is the offensive lineman, Teron Armstead, 10.7. James Daniels, 4.8. Zach Wilson, 3.9. Alec Ingold, 2.0. Janu Smith, 1.7. Matthew Judon, 1.4 million. Jason Sanders, 663. And Cam Smith, 528. It comes out to their dead cap for this season, $175 million of dead cap money. I'm fucking nuts. Are you fucking nuts?
It's like funny money, dude. It's like monopoly money out here, dude. Like, let
Yeah,
me hold
but
a
that's
dollar.
leverage. But that's the ability to move around and be
Yeah.
able to like fucking sign guys.
I know. And look, Eagles have great players, so they're going to have to crunch. They're not going to be able to, shake and bake like some of these other teams have, but
Okay, so
it is what it is.
March 17th, Jalen Carter, you said it's coming like
No, I didn't say it's coming now. I said the NFL draft, which is 6 weeks away.
Actually, it's exactly
6 weeks and 2 days.
37 days away. It's 37 days away from so 37 days. We're gonna get a Jalen Carter contract at 32. 32? Let's see here. I'm trying to get Z to give me a date. So Z, let's see here.
The draft is April 23rd.
Correct. It's 37 days.
I'm going to say the deal comes before April 21st, the Tuesday.
April 21st.
And am I on dial-up right now? No, don't tell me. Am I on dial-up?
I don't know. I don't care. 2000, let's see here. 2020.
Sue's always calling me out. Sue, fucking relax, Sue. You don't got to tell everybody every time. Like, hey,
so
chat, look, Zander's internet's going out.
So you like the Hollywood Brown sign?
I mean, it's a 1 year up to 6'5", dude. What are we talking about?
Nothing.
Exactly.
It's another nothing sign.
It's another Temu.
Yeah, I mean, since February 9th of 2025, this guy's done nothing in free agency. And I think you know what? And I'm going to say something that you said in here. Let me finish it here because I think it's going to end where you think I'm right on this. Since February 9th, this guy's done nothing in free agency. And prior to that, he's been so good, right? I think those void years and all of that have stopped that process and the guy being able to do a lot. And there's no doubt the circumstances with this man has changed with the salary cap, with what he can do and not do, because he's too good at what he does. And for him to not be very good since last year, there's something up in that organization where the owner came in and said, we got a lot of money out here. I mean, just think about it. If you couldn't let Goddard
it's not
go.
Money owed though. It's money already paid. That's what dead money is.
I know, but if you let Goddard go, you'd add 20 on your cap.
Yeah, I've already paid money. It just messes up Howie. It doesn't mess up the owner.
No. But do you not agree? The most important thing to Howie Roseman is the salary cap.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what he's operating within.
Okay. Well, I think that's even more important to him than free agency. What the cap looks like.
Well,
why
yeah.
they've been so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you obviously can sign for it. It's like a budget. It's like a business budget.
Yeah.
You got to stay within your budget.
It's a business plan.
Yeah, right. It makes sense. Yeah.
It's
I mean, that makes sense that's the most important for him. But
does it bother you that the Eagles don't know and don't have a plan yet going into the draft because they still don't know what's going on with AJ?
You guys hear the way he words these questions? I mean, do you guys hear the way he words these questions?
I taught you too good, young.
One of these days, I'm going to jump through the screen. I mean, it's fine.
Hey,
are you kidding me with that question? Are you pissed they don't have a draft plan? First off, I have no fucking idea whether they have a draft plan or not, and neither do you. And they probably do have a draft plan. What are we smoking here?
How do you not? Wait, how could you have a draft plan? How can you have a draft plan when you don't know what you're doing at wideout yet with AJ?
Can we trade 23 and AJ for Myles Garrett? Is that not enough?
For Myles Garrett, this is what I would give you. I'd give you a 1. I'd give you Nolan. I would get
one at one.
Wait, I'm not done. I'm not done.
You can't say that, dude. How many times have you shredded Eagle fans for wanting great players? And you're like, dude, you can't give up a bag of peanuts for a great player.
I'll give you a 1, AJ and Nolan for Myles Garrett.
A 1 AJ. Oh, I'll do. I will. I'll drive Nolan Smith. I'll drive Nolan and AJ to the airport.
And AJ's not enough for Miles, but a one and Nolan are. Nolan kind of picks up the caboose of the deal because he is a former first rounder. You don't know what you have. You put him in that system, give him some reps, see what he is, get that $15 million. By the way, how many days is that until they got to decide on paying that guy $15 million? How many days is May 1st? How many days is that?
May 1st is probably like 50 days.
How many days until May 1st?
50 something?
45 days.
45?
45 days to decide what you're going to do.
This year's going so fast. I can't. It's already almost over March. I feel like 2026 started yesterday.
Do you understand you're getting ready for OTA soon? Like, bro, we're right here. We're 37 days to the draft.
So Eagles are going to win how many games next year, Sileo?
Right now, May 17th. You have a better roster than the Giants. You have a better roster than the Cowboys. You have a better roster than the Commanders. So I would say that you're probably going to go in the division. You're not sweeping anybody this coming year because I think those other teams all got better. So I would say this, that you're probably going to go 4-4 in the division. So you're going to go 4-4 because you're going to split.
Shit.
You went 4-4 last year.
No, they went. First off, there's only 6 division games. There's not 8.
Oh, right? 6. You went 3-3 last year. No, wait a minute. Cowboys.
The Eagles are one of the teams in the division.
Oh, wait a minute here.
Not your finest math work there, my friend.
Really, what a shocker. What a fucking shocker here.
Oh man.
Let's see here.
3-3. And first off, they're going to go 4-2. They'll split with Dallas and the Giants, and they're going to sweep the stupid commies. The communists are terrible. Wait, Sills. Let me give you. I'm going to change your perspective on the Commanders right now. You ready?
Yeah.
Somebody gave me this comment this morning. I don't know who it was. I forget who it was in the chat. Somebody gave me this comment. If you're in here, take your credit. I'll give it to you. They said this. The Commanders are now the Sixers of football. And the owners and the operation, they got a great young player, bunch of shit around them, falling into mediocrity.
Boy, I'll tell you, man, you're ramming that home. You're ramming that take home that you fucking think the Commanders are going to be dogs like ever. Over.
I owned you. You told me I was a stiff in the offseason.
1 year because they did win 14 ball games the previous year.
My NFC East predictions last year.
And I predicted Jaden Daniels.
We're not even
and I predicted Jaden Daniels would be the rookie of the year.
Oh, what are you on 2 years ago, guy? What's next? I'll be hearing about 1990 again.
No, what I hear about is 2022 all the time. So wait a minute. You asked me a question here.
I don't bring up 22.
Hold on. You and all your Eagle guys bring up 22 when
the most recent prediction on the NFC East from you and Mr. McMullen was the Commanders would win the East this year. They stunk, as I told you.
So here is the NFC East. How many games with this Eagle team? I really haven't. So
they'll go 4-2 in the East this year, I think. You
were 3-3 in the division this past season.
Yep.
And the Commanders were 3-3 in this division last year. The Cowboys were 4-2, and the Gigantes were 2-4. I say that the Eagles will go 3-3 in the division. So you got 3 wins there. And then let me go right over here, and I'll give you my exact number. Let me see. Hang on here, and I will tell you the big sales. And by the way, September, I get an opportunity to change it because I want to see what you do in the draft.
I agree with that. There's too many changes that are coming to not be able to switch up on an opinion here.
So 2026. Let me go. Okay. I guess Spike X and Spike Eskin is mad at me now, Gordon Howard. Anyway,
why? The fuck you did to him?
I didn't do nothing to him. I actually I like the guy and I've talked to him before, but okay, it's all right. I told Howard.
Spike, it's funny. I actually don't think Spike does a bad job of everybody.
No, I don't either.
I don't get as caught up in it. I know that's kind of like a thing and has always been out there, but I don't think it's all that great nowadays. But I do think that the market has changed as well. I don't think it's just the people on the air. I think it's the listeners. I think the fan base. I mean,
no, I think it's harder to keep people engaged today than it was back in the day.
Because there's more options.
Yeah,
there's a million ways to go. I mean, you can load up your computer. You got 500 YouTube videos. You got 400 streaming networks. There's everything. So
No, I clearly think it is more like it's more difficult to like keep people engaged because of what you have with multiple platforms.
That's why the number one metric I'm most proud of with JAKIB is it has nothing to do with subscriber count, has nothing to do with views. It has nothing to do with any of those things. The number one metric that I think is the most valuable and meaningful about our audience, especially when you're talking about sponsorships and stuff like that, is our average watch time, Sills, is 35 minutes of view. Do you understand that? Think about that.
No, I know what that means.
You do, because think about radio back in the day. What was the average when you had
time spent listening? Time spent listening.
7 minutes.
Dude,
that's what the average is.
Yeah,
I think it's less than that.
It's less than that. It's 3 minutes.
So take that. So take somebody. I saw somebody say, "Oh, this YouTube channel gets more views than you." I'm like, all right, they got 2 million views, and their average viewer watches for 5 minutes. I'll take the 500,000 that watch for 35 all day long, all day. More valuable audience. It's a better audience. They're more bought into.
Because you know why? Also, that means the advertiser is going to be seen multiple times compared to what an advertiser would be seen on those other channels. You get multiple views on the advertiser seeing his spot being played 4 or 5 times inside of an hour. That's why it's more critical. And do you understand, Zander, this one thing about advertising too? The more the advertiser, if he spends, say, $1,000 advertising, right? And all of a sudden you get multiple people seeing it more than once, the average now turns out to $300, and you went from $1,000, you went down to $300 because you're now getting multiple eyes on your advertising. It's really about people recycling in here. So let me get back to this here, okay? So here, I got you at 3 wins there. So let me go here. Do you win the Cardinals? Yes.
Win what?
Do you beat the Cardinals? Yes. Do you beat the Cowboys? I'm going to say you split. Do you beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville? No. Do you beat the Giants? You split the no. Yeah,
here, you want a number real quick?
Yeah.
For the people listening, and I thank all of you. 3.2 million watch hours in the last year. So just do the math on 3.2 million, times it out by 60 minutes an hour, obviously, and you get your average minutes watched on the channel. 3.2 million.
We got to be one of the highest, no?
Times 60. It's 192 million minutes of watch time on our channel last year.
That's unreal, man.
It's no joke, dude. That's no fucking joke.
Hey, dude, that's got to be one of the best numbers, right?
That's the metric that I take the most pride in, because people come. And look, we're not for everybody. That's another thing I love about our audience. People come, and some people hate it, and they're like, I don't want to hear it. They get out of here quick. But our audience who sticks, they love us, man. They enjoy the content, so I love it.
Thanks for being here every day, Twiz. Appreciate it.
Twiz adds to that number.
Thank you, Prince.
Prince, thanks, dude.
So here, I got you splitting with the Gigantes. Commanders, you'll split with them because you'll probably have to tank a game late in the year by sitting guys. You're going to lose to the Rams.
Are you predicting our win-loss right now?
Yeah, you're going to lose to the Seahawks. You're going to lose to the Texans. You're going to beat the Colts.
We're not losing to the Texans.
You're going to lose to the 49ers.
They got C.J. Stroud. The guy says
You're going to lose to the. You're going to win against the Titans. You're going to lose to Chicago. You're going to beat the Steelers, and you're going to beat Carolina. I got you 8-9. I got you at 8-9, Junior. Especially if you got the greatness of Devontae Smith. And if you got the greatness of Devontae Smith. And who else? Devontae and
Hollywood Brown
and
Darius Cooper.
Hey, before we get Jason on here, let's read some of these supers, dude.
Real quick. I think we only got a couple of them.
Yeah, good.
Here's Prince. What's up, Prince? Salute to Jacob. Prince, thank you, man. I see all numbers, Zander. Keep up the good work from Mr. Dumbass. Yes, Sills, I see everything, sir. Prince, thank you, dude. Here's Anthony Amato. What's up, Anthony? My prediction, or what I think the Birds should do, is roll with AJ in season. If he's not happy with the new system, then trade him in the interim draft a potential replacement. Well, that'd be ideal, but
yeah, but you get less suitors in the middle of the season than you do in the offseason, I think.
Yeah, and I think that number's dwindling quick. I mean, we just talked about
that. I do.
30 Days says that proves Phillips didn't care where he was going. He just wanted to go to the highest bidder. And
that's
people,
right.
Look, 30 Day, like most people listening, probably would too, right? I mean, they want to get the most money. That's not uncommon. Ramir says Barkley should have made that play. That was a great call. Yes, he's talking about the Falcons drop.
Yep.
Pumper says, Sills, I'm afraid Alonzo better up those picks. Read him and weep. Arthur is going for no less than a first and a second. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's a 1 and a 3. That's where I think, I think
supply and demand, Sills. This is simple economics, man. You got to have a buyer. I don't know that there's a buyer out there for a 29-year-old wideout at $32 million, but we'll see. Dirty D says Patullo got that whole coaching staff fired, and then two more. Dimitri says the biggest Eagle hater. Get off our pipe, Birds. Pumper says here's why Brian Pumper loves Jacob. No meat ride in the sports team. Authentic as they come. WIP be glazing. Pump, thank you, brother. One of our biggest supporters is Brian Pumper. So Brian Pump,
thank you, Pump. Thank you, dude.
All right, Sills, good show, man.
Hey, man, how about this, man? How about Angelo Cataldi giving Big Sills some kudos yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know what he told a guy, too? He told another guy, I think on 97.5, best sports talk guy in Philly is Sileo. Said it on the air. Did
he on 97? Oh, they must have lost their mind.
Oh, they must have absolutely hated that. All right,
brother, I'll catch you.
I will see you in the morning. Thank you so much.
Later, dude.
You got it, man. Make sure you check out Birds 365. All right. So I'm going to ask a Hall of Fame guy a question about Darius Slay. Now, we got to remember something about Jason Cole out of the gate. You guys asked me if I thought Darius Slay was a Hall of Fame corner. And I said, no, that's not a Hall of Fame corner. 6 Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl. I get it. And by the way, when you say a guy's not a Hall of Fame player, that's not shade on a guy's great career. That's when you're talking about the 300 plus guys that have ever played out of the 27,000 men that have ever played in the game over 105 years. And you're like knocking on the door, but you don't get in. There's no shade in that. And this is what Jason Cole has to go through with Armando and all the rest of the people we get on the program. And our good friend, let's bring him up here now. Jason Cole, one of our insiders here. Jason, appreciate you doing this. So I'll ask you out of the gate. I know it's 35,000 feet right now. 6 Pro Bowls, 2 NFC championships, a Super Bowl win. Darius Slay, in your opinion, Hall of Fame guy?
Probably not. He's only got 1 first-team All-Pro. That was 8 years ago. I would say the argument for him is that this is in a 32-team league, so maybe you give him a little bit less negative on not getting more first teams. The Pro Bowl has become meaningless. So unless you're talking like 12 Pro Bowls, it's hard for me to take that seriously. Damn good player. lot of big plays, a lot of big moments. Hall of Fame, I would say probably not. The interceptions were 28 for his career. Not bad. Also, this is not an era where guys piled up a lot of interceptions. So I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure I hold that against. I think Richard Sherman led in his era with like 35. So that's not a big number. That's not like back in the
Paul Krause and them guys with 60.
well, when you get high 40s, 50s, like Terrell Buckley, who was a fine player with a long career, but is never sniffing the Hall of Fame, had like 52 picks.
Yeah.
And you and I both know Terrell Buckley. Terrell Buckley sold out like crazy for interceptions. You know, so, you know, and had good, it was good hands guy, but that's harder to do in today's NFL. They just don't allow you to cheat up that way, and they don't allow you to put any kind of hands on the receiver. So, like, it's one I would want to think about a little bit more than just a snap reaction.
Okay.
So you never want to just dismiss somebody out of the, you want to look at it more carefully.
Plus, like you say, the class too, depending on who he's in with at the time too.
And you never know. I would just say I don't think that based on what I see is coming, what's going to stay on the ballot in the next few years, when we get to 5 years from now, I'd say it'd be hard for him to crack that group.
I got a question here for you, Jason, from somebody. Do you think Darren Woodson's a Hall of Famer?
I think he's right there. He's really close. We've put a lot of safeties in the last 10 years. Polamalu, Ed Reed, Dawkins, Leroy Butler, John Lynch.
Didn't Kenny easily get in on the veterans?
Yeah, he was on veterans, but yeah, I mean that's another safety. We're sort of like safetied out, I think, a little bit, and we have this logjam of wide receivers. We also have a couple offensive linemen on that list, in Yanda and Willing Anderson, who I think deserve a lot of they deserve to get in, frankly, just bottom line. And then you have some guys coming behind them like an Andrew Whitworth, and Jason Peters is going to be coming up in a few years. Jason Peters, that's a great career as well.
But 10-time Pro Bowler, all that stuff. What do you think the toughest position to evaluate for you guys is? I mean, outside of special teams, kick returner, and all them guys, position players. What do you think is the most difficult position to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, I think the outlier in that discussion is fullback because it doesn't exist, right? So,
right.
I think there's, historically safeties have been hard to get in, even though we've got a lot in. Linebackers are also kind of tough because unless you're a middle linebacker.
Centers
are tough as well. Centers and guards. It took us a long time. Like we had to fight for years before we got like Mawai through, then Steve Hutchinson, Alan Faneca. That took 3 years to get those guys through. And then behind them, like we had Tony Baselli in that group too, who had to wait, even though he was physically more gifted than those guys. He didn't have the same kind of lengthy career as those guys.
AJ Brown's talk is still, and it's one of the most talked about players now in this offseason here, even with free agency and all the stuff that's going on. Before I get to some of the news in the NFL, I mean, it really is now that the player wants out, and it looks like the Eagles are jumping through hoops. After what we saw with Jalen Waddle, I mean, Jalen Waddle just got basically a 1 and a 3. I mean, A.J. Brown, is that the price tag for him, in your opinion? Do you think he would warrant a 1 and a 3?
Isn't he a better player than Jalen Waddle?
Absolutely.
By a mile?
By a mile.
I like Jalen Waddle's okay. Jalen Waddle's not. I mean, A.J. Brown's a man. Like, it's got to be a minimum 1-2.
1-2.
Yeah, and I'm just looking. I'm calling Mike Vrabel every day and go, Mike, when do you want to get serious? When do you want? I mean, Romeo Dobbs, really? That's what you're doing? You got a team that's right there, and you're going to come back to try and win a Super Bowl, and your upgrade is Romeo Dobbs?
I want to read you something, Jason. I got this another because I asked yesterday.
Oh no, you got. I mean, you got.
No, this was yesterday though. This was a friend of mine up in New England, and he said nobody can contact them until June 1st. That's what Howie has recommended to all, that they're not going to do anything until June 1st. Teams are going to stay in touch, and as many as 4 or 5 teams right now that he knows of that are in a conversation for potentially going after A.J. Brown. Obviously, the cap would be lesser. Instead of 43, it'd be somewhere around 17 million. So it'd be a lot less to take on. Do you believe he starts the season in Philadelphia, or do you think he starts the season somewhere else this coming year?
Well, somewhere else. I mean, I just think if the player wants out, the player's going to get out. That's just how it works. I mean, if they're dedicated to getting out, it's just how it works. You can't get around that. The player always has the most power in any deal. It's like a Brandon Ayuk. He just waited out until he got his money, and he wasn't really that good a player. We're all like, even the people in the 49ers are like, oh God, we got to pay him because we just got to a Super Bowl and we got to bring him back. We want to run it back. We want to take another shot. And it's like, but Brandon Ayuk, you're going to play. Like, you're going to do that? And they did. They fell into the trap. They fell into the trap of overpaying a guy because they thought they were like this close to winning a title. And they weren't. And a lot of that's injuries, of course, not stuff you can control. But one of those injuries was Brandon Ayuk. So, you overpay. Again, the player is willing to wait it out and put the screws to the team. The player is going to get what the player wants in almost every case. That's just how it works in the NFL. I mean, T.O. Go back and replay the T.O. saga in Philadelphia. What happened? He got out, right?
Yeah.
If the player is willing to make the team uncomfortable, the player will get what he wants. Now the player will suffer as a consequence in the long run. His reputation will take a hit. Teams will trust him less, but he's going to get a job. That's when he's in the prime of his career. AJ Brown's going to get a job somewhere, probably New England, where they, Mike Vrabel knows him.
I want to read you this here, and you tell me your takeaway on it. And I'm not going to go through this extensive list here with you, bud. So the Miami Dolphins this year, on their cap, $50 million for Tagovailoa, $28.3 for Hill, Jalen Waddle now $26.3, Ramsey's $20.9. Go down the list. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 guys that are going to equal up to $175 million on their cap this year alone. I mean, Jason, I get it. It's 301-2. But
yeah, it's hard. Look, they don't have any. Well, they're not going to win. Okay, unless Malik Willis turns into God, right? Okay, and to quote the great Chili Davis when talking about Dwight Gooden, he ain't God, man. I understand this, and I understand even on a 301 cap, that's a lot, and it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
But I also understand I would rather take it all now and give myself the freedom sooner. I'd rather have the freedom sooner to get back into spending on guys that I actually want to keep. So clean up your cap as fast as you can. I know Tagovailoa is going to be on for 2 years. And it's going to be another $45 million.
It's 67 this year and like 33 next year. So it's like 99 million.
Yeah, I thought it was a little higher next year, but either way, it's a chunk.
37 maybe.
Yeah, it's a chunk. It's 10% of your cap. But in the meantime, you're saying, okay, we're going to take a look at what does Malik Willis have. He's like, he's kind of a draft pick that we got without having to expend a draft pick.
And maybe Quinn Ewers.
Maybe Quinn Ewers, but I think it's more likely Willis is the guy because, they got where's the head coach and the GM from?
Yeah, Green Bay.
They're from Green Bay. They believe in this kid. They don't believe in Quinn Ewers. They didn't draft him. So the only way to get to Quinn Ewers is Willis has to fail. So it's on Willis to see if he can take this job. You see, if Willis is the guy after 2 years, if Willis is the guy, then you now have money against the cap. You can either franchise him or pay him, whatever it is. You build around him. If he's not, you're in the draft and you're searching for your next guy. They're positioned to once again take a look at what do they have at quarterback over the next couple of years, because that's what they spent the last 5 years doing with Tua, is trying to find out if they have the guy. They found out they don't have the guy, so you got to go back and you got to try and find the guy. That's how it works.
Jace, here's the moves here. Check this out here. So Trent McDuffie signs that enormous deal. Jalen Watson signs a 3-year, I think $51 million deal. Cam Curl got a really strong re-sign. They re-signed Higbee. They're really going in for it, aren't they? The Rams, are the Rams the best team right now so far, what we've seen in free agency? The draft's coming up, always hit or miss. We'll wait and see how that turns out, but they know that this is Stafford's last year, man. This might even be Sean McVay's last year for a while. He may take a break after. I know he's only 40. But he
thought about it. Look, he thought about it. What was it, after the first Super Bowl? And
that's right.
and seriously wanted to get out. He'd be great on TV. We all know that. He's got great energy, great enthusiasm. The money started. Unfortunately, I think the money is dried up a little bit. Unless you're Tom Brady and you're Fox and you've got some kind of investment. But, McVay's there. I'll say this. If they win a Super Bowl, McVay's marketability will never be higher to get a TV job. Right?
Yeah. Great.
Because all of a sudden he's 2-time Super Bowl winning coach, Sean McVay.
And he's 41.
So he can go in and get $15 to $20 million a year as a TV analyst, even though those jobs are starting to dry up.
Who do you think is going to have a tougher job rebounding and getting back on top? Do you think it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, or do you think it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers?
It's a good question. Are you just talking about 1 year, or are you talking about like the next 5?
I'm talking about 1 year here. I'm talking about 26. Like, if you had to bet on
my problem with the 49ers, my hesitation with the 49ers is Kittle's is, he's coming back from a pretty bad injury, right?
Yes. He may not be ready for the opening part of the year.
But they have better stars than Kansas City has right now, in terms of beyond the quarterback. I think that Kansas City's stars beyond the quarterback are non-existent.
Yeah.
Kelsey's just aged. They'll, it's going to have a really nice wedding this offseason. Mazel. Let's,
Yep. Shalom.
We're open for the best, pal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You have a great life coming up. I can just tell you. Okay.
Break the glass. I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm all here. But how into football is he really going to be?
No.
They need it. They need him. He's been like Travis Kelce reminds me of the guy who's in his 40s going to the park still to play ball with the guys who are 20 years old, thinking if I just yell at myself enough, I'll jack myself up to play and be able to play again. He still
shows up to the rec league, and he still hopes to get picked.
So it's not the rec league, man, because the league is if you were in a league, you would be playing with dudes who are your age.
Okay.
I'm talking about Saturday morning at the park. You're showing up,
and you're just showing up to watch Rucker play, and you're hoping.
Yeah, you're going to, you're going whatever your local park is in your city, and you got a group of like somewhere between. You got a few 14-year-olds who are a little ahead on the growth scale, so they're probably 6 feet tall or 6'1", and they want to see if they can hang with the dudes. And you got a bunch of 16 to 18-year-olds, and then you're going up to 25 to maybe 30, and then he's the old guy at the club showing up, who used to be able to play, and he can't jump anymore. The jumper is not as solid as used to be. The handle is definitely weak. But he figures if he yells at himself enough and he really gets himself jacked up, that the game will come back. Like that's what Travis.
You're going knee deep in old guy here.
Yeah, we are way deep because I've lived that life. I know exactly what I can channel it right now. It's like that's why I feel like when I'm watching Travis right now. Great player who's trying to convince himself. Yeah, I still got the edge. You don't have the edge, dude. You don't. You're not hungry anymore.
Lost it 3 years ago.
Yeah, and not for any bad reason.
No,
right? Like
no.
Your life is good, man. Like you're all good. Hopefully the marriage works. Marriage celebrity ain't always easy, but hopefully it works for you. God bless the two of you. I hope you guys are married for the next 50 years. Have a great life together. Go have a bunch of kids. Whatever you guys want to do. But you're not hungry anymore, man. You're just not that hungry anymore. And here's the worst part: we focused on Kelsey, and we focused on Kelsey too much because he's probably the best weapon they have.
Yeah,
and now,
he didn't have a horrible year last year.
Brian, the running back, I like Kenny Walker.
Yeah.
I don't mind the contract. I think it's actually a bargain in today's world. $15 million a year is not that big a deal. But who's the wide receiver who's supposed to help him? Like if I'm Kansas City, frankly, I'm in on AJ Brown.
Me too.
Because Xavier Worthy. Like, what are you, man?
No way.
Rashee Rice. Like Rashee Rice, even 3 years ago when he came in as a rookie, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at Rashee Rice catching all these balls." I'm like, he's a good number 3.
Yeah,
he's a quasi number 2. He ain't Jerry Rice, he's Rashee Rice.
Yeah,
stop this. And on top of that, he's just a nightmare off the field right now.
Yeah.
Like every other thing is like you're in trouble with something. Like, you got to go, bro. You got to get out the door because you're not worth the time. So, Kansas City's got to do some serious work there. Their offensive line is sketchy, and now they traded McDuffie. And I know that they're trading McDuffie to free up money so that they can do some other things. I understand that in capology, but you got to get some dudes to help Mahomes out. Because the one advantage you have in everything is you have Mahomes. Coming back off an injury, we all understand that. But you got the best one out there. You got the creme de la creme of quarterbacks. Don't let that slip away. Make sure he has real weapons. In the last 2 years, he hasn't had a real weapon because Xavier Worthy has not been any kind of X factor at all other than his first name.
Absolutely. 2 last questions here for you, Jace. So I was watching the tweet of Kyler Murray. And so Kyler Murray said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he goes, "I'm going to take this team because of my work ethic, and I'm going to take this Minnesota Viking team to the next level." And I'm like, hang on, dude. Aren't you the guy that the Arizona Cardinals wanted to put that study hall thing into the contract because they didn't believe your work ethic? How am I supposed to believe that when no one in the league believes that you have a work ethic? I mean, dude, what?
He doesn't even know what it is. He's talking about something he doesn't even understand. He's too gifted an athlete who got away with playing in a total BS offense. That college offense was total BS, right? Just complete BS. And he couldn't make it work with Kingsbury because he didn't want to work that hard at it. And when the game got harder, and then he's lost some of his mobility. We've been over it with Kyler Murray. How many times have you asked me about Kyler Murray? You're done with Kyler Murray. I am done. I'm angry at you for asking me another goddamn Kyler Murray question. He's terrible. Tua is
Terrible.
They're just,
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't want, that's going too far. That's an overreaction. He's not what he should be.
Okay.
He's not even close. He's not even close to what he should be because he doesn't have that. So I don't want to hear promises. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to read your tweets. I don't want to hear your comments. I don't want to just shut up and go do your job and just prove it to me on the field because you've never, for an extended period of time, been able to prove it on the field.
Okay. I want you to help me on Tom Brady for a second here, Mr. Golden Boy. So he Zoom calls Mark Davis 4 times a year. He hangs out with John Spytek, I guess because they played college ball at Michigan. He's got an influence over the organization, and he shows up kind of sometimes. Like, what's his job like exactly with the Raiders? And quite frankly, if he does have a job, he's horrible at it because the Raiders are horrible at everything they do. What I know he's a minority owner, but like
he's an owner in waiting.
Okay, so like what is exactly his job?
Well, he's the brain. Look,
the brains. Jason, what brains?
I don't look. I think that Tom Brady is a really smart football guy who really understands how this is supposed to work. He also understands team building from a player perspective. And he intuitively understands the people who are in charge. His one giant mistake in this whole thing, the one overwhelmingly unrecoverable, unfixable problem. Well, I shouldn't say unfixable, but unfixable in current conditions problem he has is he's not there.
No, he's not.
If you're gonna be the owner in waiting, if you're gonna be the brains of the operation, if you're gonna be the guy who Mark Davis, brings in and says, "Look who I'm leaning on. Look, I'm doing the best I can. Look, here he is. Tom's here. He is. Tom's here to save the day and do all this." Well, he's actually got to be there. He's got to hold people accountable. He's got to, like you can't have Alex Guerrero. When I read that story, 2 weeks ago from Mike Silver, and they got Alex Guerrero there, it's like Alex Guerrero is a foof.
Dude, people hated him in New England.
Yeah, well, it's like you're a trainer. You're not a football coach. You're not a GM. You haven't sold your, you worked with one guy. And yes, you helped make him better. But the primary thing that made Tom Brady better was Tom Brady's will and tenacity and his love of what he does and everything that he did to be great at it. How much he sold his soul to be great at football. He's not sold his soul to be great in the management of football yet. I think he has good ideas. I think he's well-intentioned. I also think he's making a lot of money from Fox. So he's doing that. He's got his kids in Miami. I don't, what's he supposed to do? Giselle ain't moving out of Miami.
No.
Unless she goes back to, South America.
Yeah.
She's not leaving. So if he wants to see his kids, if he wants to make up for the lost time they didn't have, he can't leave Miami. Plus, he likes to stay.
He likes the kung fu, the Brazilian kung fu guy now. She's not leaving and going anywhere.
I mean, the bottom line is that his life is not centered with the Raiders.
Right, it's not.
And if you're not centered on that kind of high-level job, it's sort of like, why is Mark Davis so terrible at it? Because Mark Davis is there, but Mark Davis doesn't know anything. He learned nothing from his father about how to run a football team other than he yells at the coaches when things go bad. You hear that from everybody who's been through that place. He just comes in screaming after every loss. Well, that's meaningless. It's not getting you anywhere.
Jason, let me tell you this. So when I worked with the Raiders and Al was alive and Mark was hanging around, he was trying to teach the kids some things. You know what it looked like? It looked like a bratty kid who was never really engaged. And his dad had Ken Herrick there, and he was trying to put him in the building and trying to put him in the room. And Al used to always say, the kid's just not attentive. He's just not attentive into what really it takes to run a football team. It's not a 24-hour job. It's a 36-hour job. You just have to always be on call. And there's so many things on running a football team. You see, I think Al's his biggest chip that he had was that he was a football guy. Al was a football guy. This guy's not. This guy's a son that was rounding third base. He'll never pull that. He'll never run that Raider team. That Raider team will never be successful until they sell that team. I can't believe that team at one time when I worked there was the highest win percentage of any NFL team of all time. And now in the last 25 years, Jason, that thing's been a laughingstock.
And a lot of it was during Al's time because Al lost his.
It was.
He
was in the courtroom. He was in the courtroom.
Yeah, well, he was all over the place. But and he was desperate. He was doing desperate things to try and win every year instead of trying to build something from the ground up. And he was picking bad coaches because he wanted to have control. He wanted to have more and more control. I mean, but we can psychoanalyze Al all we want. I mean, Mark he doesn't know anything. He doesn't have any understanding of it. He's not a very smart guy.
It's not.
He resents it when people call him out. He's never gone to work on this. I mean, he doesn't know how to work at it. Sort of like Kyler Murray. He doesn't know how to do the job. And he's too far behind to ever, make any assessments. I mean, he can talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk. And so, yeah, they're stuck. And if you have, an owner who's there who's absent of value, and then you have an owner who in waiting who's an absentee, it doesn't work. Now, they've made a lot of moves this offseason, and thankfully they kept Max Crosby. Yeah. I don't know what kind of Max Crosby they're going to have, assuming he stays there. But they kept Max Crosby, which I think is actually a good thing. I'd rather have Max Crosby than the draft picks, and pending what the injury looks like. But like, yeah, I just don't. I think they're still feckless. They have no direction. So,
oh my God! Let me sneak this one in on you here. Is there one?
You're always sneaking one more question.
I do.
You're the king of the one more.
I am the one more because I like taking as much as I can get. Is there one team that had surprised you and you've been impressed with so far this offseason? I know it's early, but have you been impressed? Is it the Rams?
The Rams pushed a lot of chips in, and I think they understand how to push chips in. And they got after the Ravens pulled back on the deal with Max Crosby.
You mean reneged?
Reneged, yeah, pulled back, reneged on the deal,
okay.
Whatever you want to say. Yeah, when they got out of the deal, the Rams got the next best impact player in all
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, McDuffie. Linderbaum's a nice player that the Raiders got, but he's a center. Centers are you got to be able to find centers in the second and third round and train them and not have to pay them $27 million. Like that's a position where you got to save money, not spend money. Look, Trey Hendrickson's an awful good player. Don't get me wrong. He ain't Max Crosby.
No.
And he's not Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie's a damn fine player. He is a tone setter in a lot of ways for a defense. And when you get a guy like that, you change a lot of things for like you can go and say you got Smith and Jigba today. And you're not going to do it on every single play. You're going to give them help sometimes just to confuse Seattle and things like that. But you can say to Trent McDuffie, you're a competitive dude. Go take Jackson Smith and Jigba. We got to beat that dude a couple of times each week. Go get him. Okay. And McDuffie can do that.
So at the bagel bakery here, how's that BLT?
Right here, I'm here right now.
How's the BLT?
Damn good.
Yeah.
Good. I'd say look, the basics of what we do every single day is we do a damn fine bagel, right? I get a lot of New Yorkers that come in here and say,
Oh,
this is the best.
wow.
I got a lot of New Yorkers that come in and say, this is the best bagel that they've had outside of the city. And even some of them say it's equal to the city. So, and we look, we've been in business 27 years. That didn't just happen. That didn't happen yesterday when I showed up and bought the place a year ago. They've worked on it for a long time here. So they've been in business 27 years. I've owned it for 1 year. We have a damn fine bagel. So when you start with, as anybody who really understands food, it's not the protein that, like bacon tastes great, turkey tastes great, all that kind of stuff. The bread's actually the thing that keeps people coming, right? And we do the bread great. We do the proteins and all that other stuff really well too. Okay. But the bread is great. And the bagel is great.
How's that Gator Club sandwich?
Damn good. I had that one on a wrap last week. The California Dreamin' I love with the turkey and the avocado and the bacon. It's a really good combo. Sort of like it's got the feel of a BLT, but you throw the turkey on there as well.
Italian turkey looks good. I like that one because you got the onion on there too.
And the thing you'd love though, because I know you, I make a mean bundt cake, my man.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like about 8 different kinds.
Oh.
A butter chocolate chip. Make a lemon one, which is
I love lemon.
A lemon bundt cake.
Oh.
That thing sells out in a day. I put slices of that out.
Oh my
God.
God.
You gotta come in, man.
I do.
You gotta make the trip.
I do.
Bagel Bakery, Gainesville, Florida. And we're over $11,000 right now given to
congratulations. Tell the folks again what you're doing and raising that money.
We have 1% of the gross. And we've been doing it for 10 months now, and we're over $11,000. So,
Great.
And so I'm really proud of that.
Absolutely, folks.
We're gonna have a big picture pretty soon. You see the boat behind us? That's up on the wall. That's a crew boat. That's a shell that's up on the wall. That blue and black thing up there. The crew team is buying a new boat with the money we gave them. We're gonna have a big picture of the boat in the store pretty soon, just so I can tell people where their money goes. This is what they're buying.
That's awesome. Bagel Bakery, Gainesville.com. Me, I'm over at the /menu/. So I'm over there looking at the menu where I belong there. Jace, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much.
Anytime, my man. Be good.
You got it. That is Jason Cole, our Hall of Fame insider, our Hall of Fame voter, and we so appreciate him. How you doing? Right? Sills, if you have time, ask Jason his thoughts on Ricky Waters not being selected. 15,000 all-purpose yards. Wow. You know what? I'll send him a text for you, Mr. Hill. How's that? I didn't know he had 15,000 all-purpose. I think Herschel Walker's up there too, with like 15 or 16,000 all-purpose. So I think he's up there too. 5 straight Pro Bowls. Yeah, man. Ricky, and plus, along with the Super Bowls, I don't know how many Super Bowls he won with the 49ers, but I love Jason. Jason comes on all of my shows, and he's always done it for free. So I give him some plugs, man, because the guy's been coming on my program ever since we had him, ever since we started doing this, right, Z? Jason's always come on the program. So a little love, he bought this business a year ago, and he's going to buy another one. By the way, they're going to open up another place, and I think they're going to open it up in Tampa. And if he opens up more, he's going to advertise with us here. So, Jason's great. One of the great people, man. Herschel put Jimmy Johnson in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Yeah. And with Jimmy's moves and what he did, I completely agree. I do. Okay. Dude, Jason Cole, if you remember right, here, I'll give you a little history on him. He started with the Miami Herald, and he was down there with Christine Brennan And I believe that Edwin Pope hired him, if I'm not mistaken, when he was still the editor of the Miami Herald. And Edwin Pope and Tom McEwen with the Tampa Tribune were two of the most powerful people in the state of Florida. And those guys were great friends of mine. And Edwin Pope was a massive Miami Hurricane fan. And he would come over, write stories on us all the time. He was such a great editor, such a great writer. And I think he was there for over 40 years. He may have been the editor of the Miami Herald. And Tom McEwen was responsible for getting the Buccaneers along with Hugh Culverhouse. And he was responsible for getting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into Tampa. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Dolphins came first, and I think Edwin Pope had something to do with that. When the Dolphins got there, I think the Dolphins got to the AFL. I think they got to the AFL in 69 when the Dolphins, 65 maybe, when they first initially got into the AFL. They weren't in the NFL. They were in the AFL back in the day. And then some guy was the coach. I forget his name, George something. And then Joe Robbie traded for Don Shula. And I think Shula got there in 70, 71. Shula got to the Dolphins. 3 years later, they won a Super Bowl. I'm 80-20 that A.J. Brown is traded. I'm not 50-50 on that. Absolutely not. I'm 80-20 on that. I'm starting to believe it. I am. I'm starting to believe it. 72, heyday, yep. So it's just a food for thought. When you have guests on, maybe at least 8 minutes of your segment, you maybe, you know what? I think that's a great idea, actually. Maybe that, you know what? You guys get to ask questions also. I think we should do that. As a matter of fact, moving forward, we'll see if we can, if I see some good questions, I'll put you guys up there. That's a great idea. I'm going to do that. Like, I'll tell you what we'll do tomorrow with Battle Royale. You guys, like, they'll be like in the back end after I ask my questions. I think you guys should ask questions. So we'll ask questions. You guys can ask questions to Mark, and you can ask questions to Philly 500 tomorrow. Okay? Seals, I love your intelligence on all the old takes. Really cool. Thank you. You should have some of us come on too. No, Sue, nice pull. Nice try. Are you kidding me? Guys will be trying to take over my show. That's what I don't need is Dumb Reyes taking over my show. Nice try, Sue. You see what a chick does? Hey, maybe what you should do is have me come on so that I can, start running your show for you. Nice try, Sue. I already got 2 chicks running my life. I don't need another one. So now you could tell it's not out here in California. It's always sweaty and windy when Jason is on, and that's Florida. Hey, it is cold in Florida. I heard it's cold. It was cold in Tampa. You know what cold in Tampa is? 58. It was 58 like today. You are a great interview. F what Crossing Broad has to say. Let's see what they do. Did they put anything up here new? You know what? Zander said it too. He goes, why are you even engaging in these guys? So this guy here, Kevin, what's his name? God. Kevin Kinkead. Is that his name? Kinkead? So I went back and forth with him a little bit on Twitter today. And he put it up there because Angelo called all the people in Philly. And I said, this guy, Kevin Kinkead, has tried to get a radio show so long. And I've heard him on the radio. He's terrible. And what he thinks is that because I said that, I go, if you have a comment about somebody like Angelo or Howard Eskin, you have no right to comment on how those guys do their show and how it sounds. He thinks they suck. And I said, how would you know? And he said, so you think because I haven't done a show, I don't know what bad radio is? I said, no. You have no idea what it takes to put a show together for 33 years for 236 shows a year. You have fucking no idea what goes into that. You have no clue. I don't give a shit how it sounds. That's not, I don't know who's better or who's less, but you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to putting a show on and engaging people and putting guests on and producing a show. All that guy does is sit there on some dumb blog that no one gives a shit about. And I probably wasted 5 minutes of my life I wish I had back. I mean, I'm fucking, what would he know about doing a show? Let's see. What my first show was 1991. 1994 was my first show. How many years ago is that? 1994 was my first show that I did as a radio host, because I did a thing called American Sports Network out of Vegas. And I've been doing it since then. And 2000, I've been on the air since 1994, whatever that is. That's how long I've been doing sports talk. 1994. And I've been doing it that long. I was on in one place for 15 years in Tampa. I was on in Los Angeles, San Diego for 6. I was on in, I've been on here for now 5. Let's see. And I was on in Miami. The only job I didn't have for a long time was the Miami job. I've only had 6 jobs in my entire life over 32 years. So I've been on the air 32 years and I've had 5 jobs. So all that shit you read, that I've had numerous, I've had 5, 5 jobs. And now I got 3. 97.5, paying their people in Dave and Buster tokens now. Yeah. Damn, I was 7 in 94. And that's when Frisco stopped Dallas from a 3-peat in the NFC Championship game, right? That's right, in the NFC title game. I believe that was the NFC title game. 32 years. I can't believe that. 32 years we've been on the air. And we get the same kind of people that are in here that used to call my program. You see this guy here? I had a ton of these guys. That's why those guys don't bother me. I don't give a shit about them. They can keep the algorithm going. You just ignore them. Big Sills, thank you for your contribution to sports on and off the field. Much respect. That's really cool. By the way, are you from CT? That's pretty dope if you're from Connecticut. I posted a picture. Somebody sent me a picture when I was in high school, and I was playing at Catholic High, and I posted it. And I posted the picture of me being in a Catholic High uniform. It's pretty cool. And so, yeah, I posted it. Dope. Let's see here. So you from Connecticut? Yeah, Bristol? Great. The home of the Hernandez brothers. Bristol. No, well, your mom stopped by earlier. I'm kidding. James, I love you. You're good. I'm kidding. Charles, I'm from PA too and moved out west. The no humidity is the best part. Absolutely. I'm kidding you, James. You know I am. Born and raised in New Haven, the home of pizza. I'm kidding, man. Yeah, unfortunately, a 2-minute drive for me, dude. I don't know what it is, but the greatest pizza in the history of like pizza is in New Haven, Connecticut. You know, I do too, bro. We're good. We're boys for sure. I lived in Hartford for 5 years. What a dump. Dude, did you ever go to Bridgeport? Hey, you want to see a dump? Mystic Pizza's good. Sills, do you like the Hollywood Brown edition? I think it's okay. You know, it's a nothing sign. I don't really think it's anything. Now, if, like Zander said, that guy turns out to be your 2, then you got a problem. But if you, hey, well, Mystic Seaport, I'll tell you what's really cool about that. There's an old galleon that's out there with their top up. It's in the water in Mystic, and it sticks out of the water. And I've been on a boat out there, and it's like an old Spanish galleon that is like sunk there, and the mast is sticking out of the water. A lot of shipwrecks there because of the water that bangs up on the side of the Connecticut shore. It's really cool. Like my aunt used to go to Montauk all the time. So we go all the way up to like Montauk, and you go up to Cape Cod. And I was raised like right on the water in Connecticut. I like Chapin, where I was raised in Connecticut, in Stamford. Chapin's right, the ocean's right down like about a half a mile to my house, the ocean. My grandpa used to put his boat there. Pizza's spectacular. It is spectacular. Mystic Aquarium, really cool. My kid would love that, as a matter of fact. She likes going to aquariums. All right, let me pay some bills here. Hey, folks, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number 1 injury law firm in all of America. Hey, before I do it, wait, Zander. Aunt Sonia, dude, you lived there until you were 6. Let me tell you something. Aunt Sonia was one of the greatest high school football programs in the Northeast. They must have won 30 or so state championships. I mean, our high school in our state goes back 125 years. Like when I played like the Thanksgiving Day games, some of the rivalries in our state go back 130 years, 125 years. Some of the rivalries. But in Sonia, God. I mean, seriously, they must have won 30 state championships. I mean, a lot of great players come out of there. And guys who went to Penn State, Notre Dame, like we played against them in the state title game, got beat. Then we played St. Joe's and beat them. That was my sophomore year when I was at Catholic High. When we won a state championship my sophomore year at Catholic High. And we beat St. Joe's. My freshman year, we got beat by Ansonia. Yeah, they got a lot. That was really great. All right, my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number 1 injury law firm in all of America, for a reason, and it's because they win. I tell you guys all the time about their success. Here in Pennsylvania, you got a family that was offered initially $650K. They ended up getting nearly $30 million in settlement. Also, in Florida, family was offered $350K. They ended up getting, of course, nearly $12 million in settlement. Do me a favor, folks. This will be the easiest thing you ever do. Is if you're ever hurt on the job, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound love 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound love 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Oh boy. Hey, appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Yeah. Got a flat tire now. Kim's got a flat tire. Okay, so I've got to go help her, and I've got to go fix the car. It's right around the corner, and she's you're telling me that, guys, I appreciate you. Big Z, thank you so much. All is great. Don't worry. It's just another day in the life of Big Sills. It's shit, man. I tell you, guys, between the guys in Philly banging on me now, my old lady banging on me. Thank God I got Big Z with me here. Guys, I will see. Call AAA. I know. Why me? Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. We will have Battle Royale. Howard Eskin will join us as well. I love each and every single one of you. Please hit the like button, and we'll catch you 2 to 6. Trust me, tomorrow here on JAKIB, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Sills, get out of here. Go help your wife, brother. Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I'll see you. Fucking
later, dude. All right, there's Big Sills. Closing it out here. I'll talk for just a couple minutes here. I want to thank everybody. Great show today. We are a family-first operation. When the wife is broken down on the side of the road, Big Sills will get the show off, man. Raspy today. I don't know how long you've been a JAKIB fan. Let me tell you something about Big Sills. All right, 5 years. Never once, not even once, has Sileo requested a show off, a holiday off, anything. If Sileo doesn't work, it's because I told him not to work. So he does not, when he needs something, I let him do it. So appreciate you, Sills, and appreciate all you guys for listening. Good stuff, man. Appreciate everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll check in with Sileo to make sure that he gets everything handled. All right. I told him, dude, call AAA. You're not changing the tire, Sileo. All right. You're not changing the tire, Sileo. See you next time, everybody.